Yeah, hi everybody. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome.
Hi, I'm Emery. I've been on the Zubair show before. This isn't my first time, but I'm here as a co-host on the Zubair channel. We're doing a goofy little thing here, talking about modern dating. That's the name of it. I mean, it was just a name that I thought up when we were talking one time. It's not like I don't know, like that's not it's really what the name of this should be is Zubair and his love life, because I'm just going to be straight up with you. This isn't going to be a big thing with me getting in here and being all emotional and telling you about my past and like my relationship woes and all of that. I'll give my opinion on things, but at the end of the day, I've gone to coffee with a woman. I've had, experiences talking to them. I've been in relationships in the past, and Zubair has had a little trouble on that front. Not to say that he's hopeless, but he's had trouble on that front, and that's what I'm here for. I'm here to give guidance. I'm here to assist, and hopefully, while this continues and moves forward as we keep doing this, Zubair will find the love of his life thanks to me. That's the goal. Is I'm gonna find Zubair the love of his life. So that's what this is. This is the modern dating show. But
Actually, technically, Emery, it's modern romance.
oh,
Welcome to
modern
modern
romance.
romance, ladies
I
and gentlemen.
forgot about that. Yeah, originally the idea was we were gonna have pictures of us in suits with roses, and it was gonna be like this fancy thing. But you can only afford to do so much at a certain time, and uh, just fuck it. I don't really have anything more to add there. What would you like to talk about today, Zubair?
So this is going to be basically our. So this is definitely our first episode, our pilot episode, our very first show. Even though me and Emery have collabed before, we obviously met because actually we can talk about our past. This is modern romance, where it's about our journey through love and modern dating, modern romance, etc., etc., etc. We will talk about certain topics relating to modern romance, modern dating, but obviously we'll get off topic, but it'll be relating to basically the modern world and modern dating. It'll be our takes and perspectives of life and our experience. Um, we originally were supposed to do this show, and we actually had an original pilot episode with one of Emery's former co-hosts of a former show, the Lachlan Emery Show. Talk about that for a little bit and the history of it, if you can.
We had a podcast back in the day, me and my British friend. We did an episode with Zubair where we came up with the idea to do a dating show with him because he always talks about his dating history and stuff, and it's very interesting, very fun to talk about, and just wanted to do a thing. Uh, and it was a goofy little idea that I came up with. I was like, what if we did a dating show, as like a goof? But then we started talking about it more, and we're like, yeah, it'd be kind of funny if we did that, because like at the end of the day, right? Most of these dating shows are done by people that are like good at it, but ultimately we're pretty bad at it. However, I'm better at it than Zubair is, so that's why I'm here. That's the whole idea, I mean, fuck, he's over here, he's looking like a fucking Christmas sushi roll, and I'm dressed like a grown man. So we're here to fucking fix that. That's the goal. We're gonna make Zubair into a Chad, gonna get him off the Andrew Tate train, get him to stop watching these TikToks of Andrew Tate. It's a little too much.
Okay, that's just him like thinking what I do, which I don't. But okay, but regardless, again, this is his assumption. Let's not act like I have never talked to women before, but obviously,
You've spoken to women, I'm sure.
yeah, I
It's
mean, yeah, but
I've heard of you doing it.
yeah, but we'll go along with. We'll definitely go through that. But again, that's the whole idea. Um, so yeah, mono romance. Obviously, it could be about our thoughts, opinions about current issues or whatever. We'll do topics about various stuff. This is just a pilot of going through our history and our thoughts of the current dating market and maybe our experience. And we'll definitely do future videos about other things, like for example, like just again, we can talk about certain movies. We can talk about also dating apps. We'll talk about the whole big thing about modern dating is online dating. We'll talk about whole various of things. But again, let's not get ahead of ourselves. This is going to be our first episode. It's basically our introduction. That's we're going to go along with that. But yes, Emery has said this is we came up with that wacky idea. We actually did film an original pilot episode, but it basically did not go as planned to basically come to fruition. So this is going to be now our true pilot episode. So we did have a pilot episode. Sadly, we were not able to hold an archive for some reason, even though I did enjoy doing that show. But regardless, what's done is done. It's solely just me and Emery. We were supposed to have our buddy Lachlan to be part of the show originally, which is why we filmed that episode. But he doesn't want to take part of it anymore. It's just gonna be me and Emery. And yeah, we're gonna have some fun. Again, it's not gonna just be we're not just gonna just do this show for the heck of it, just give us our thoughts and opinions. But you can say it'll be hopefully a coming in age type of podcast, where we basically go through life. We're gonna talk about things, but also we may even like grow from this. We're gonna grow from this. We might even find some love. We will find some develop more relations with others.
I don't know if
Maybe
you guys have ever heard of a podcast called Serial. It's this guy or chick, I don't remember what it is, some dude or woman, some person that solves murders with a podcast. That's essentially what I'm doing here. I'm solving the crime that is Zubair's love life, and we're gonna watch it in real time. That's what's happening. This is season 1 of Serial, but like it's less stakes, but you know. So as far as the intro goes, I feel like we've gotten it out of the way. We've told everybody what we're doing here. We're 7 minutes in. What do you think? What's the first topic of what's the first thing that we're actually going to talk about? What's the first thing we're going to seek? First piece of meat that we're going to sink our teeth into, so to speak.
Well, we're going to give our thoughts. The thoughts of modern romance, modern dating, and
just
basically,
overall.
Yeah, exactly. And also, then we're gonna talk about our experience. But again, man, Emery, you really make it seem like I'm like such a lost cause or something, or like
I
I'm
don't
like
mean to make you seem like a lost cause. The entire idea of what I'm saying is that you're not a lost cause. It just takes a little fucking fixing up. It is what it is.
You make it seem like I'm such a failure with date. I mean, you're not wrong. You're okay. You're not wrong with that. It's just like obviously. Well, again, we're gonna get to know the nitty gritty. You just make it seem to the people who are gonna be watching that like I'm like such a terrible like dude who can't even get anything, or I don't know how to talk to women.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that fucking you need to go on more dates, and that's the goal of this. So.
All right. Anyways, I mean, let's start with you though. What is your thoughts of modern dating, modern romance? What is your whole idea of love, and what basically what's love to you, and what is it that you think about in this world?
I think that love is when you meet somebody and you guys both kind of make the mutual agreement, that sacrifice of like, I'm going to sacrifice a piece of myself to you. You do it to me. You kind of come together in God, so to speak, in like a marriage union. That's what I think that like a romance sort of thing should amount to. I think the modern world, I mean, it's got good things for it, bad things for it. It is what it is. I mean, so the dating apps, they have their positives, they have their negatives. I think ultimately it's led to people becoming more estranged and, more lonely. I don't think that's good, but overall, I mean, it's like anything else. It's a struggle like any other fucking thing, and you go at it and you fucking try to make the best of it. That's just like anything else. So like, it is what it is. It's not like it can be stopped. So like, you can't just like sit around and like be all like upset about it. Like, boo, the fucking modern dating world is so bad. I mean, like, at the end of the day, it is what it is. It's there and you got to make the fucking most of it. You can't just fucking change reality. Like it is, it gets happening. So fucking, but, my history, I'm single. That's all you really need to know. I mean, I've dated a few people in the past. Didn't really work out. I'm kind of looking for a sort of religious relationship now, something like a little more like, in like a serious realm, but it is what it is. Fucking fuck it. At the end of the day, I'll be fine. But, fucking, what's your history like? Tell me now.
We'll get to it. Definitely. So before we get to me, you did mention, and this is something we talked about, and it's going to go on to what I'm going to probably say in terms of what I think of the modern dating world. You did say, I remember in an old, like when we had our little conversation a while ago, that you don't think, like, you understand why people complain about modern dating, but you think that has always been the case, despite with the whole dating apps and also the whole yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's always struggle with anything, and modern dating has its advantages and disadvantages. Like I'm sure it did 50 fucking years ago. Like it's always had positives and negatives, just like anything else. So I don't think that you know putting a stamp on it and being like this sucks now forever. It's like it has its again positives and negatives come with everything. So I think that you make the most of it. You try to do what you fucking can with it.
Okay. Well, getting back to the whole idea, what is love? Well, Emery has said it best. It's a mutual relationship with uh, whatever you are. I mean, we have to basically live in the world of 2024, almost 2025, where you care about a significant other in a way where you want to have a connection with, a mutual connection, basically. Love is a mutual connection. You have a person that you want to be with the rest of your life, you want to have kids with, you want to have the American dream with. It's basically your other self with that person. It's your other identity with that person. It's that person who you're with that you absolutely can't live without. That's love. All
Yeah.
right? That is freaking love.
Zubair's home country, love is when your father marries you to your cousin.
Give you a fucking break. So yeah, I'm half Pakistani. Well, and that's not how my father got married or whatever. But okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm half Guyanese, half Pakistani. Emery, what are you?
I don't know what I am. I'm white. Fucking
He's
some
just white.
French in there. There's some Scottish in there. Some British. It's just all sorts of white.
And before your motherfucker say, I'm not Indian though, really not though. All right. Yeah, that's my trademark thing. But yeah, but unfortunately, speaking of that, that probably has had a big role. And obviously, me and Emery could disagree with things, but that's the beauty of it, is we're having different opinions also. But again, we are buddies. No matter what. Me and Emery have been buddies for how many years now?
I don't know, like fucking 2017 to now. That's like
26, probably 2016.
that's 8 years.
Yeah, we have been buddies for quite a while. Definitely for more than a few years. He's a good guy. I like him a lot. And I'm just glad that he's my friend, and we're doing a show together. Um, and this is being filmed right before Christmas. So what a way to celebrate Christmas and even talk about this just before Christmas. And we will be uploading this. Basically, what we're thinking, we are gonna probably we're thinking of, we're gonna do the, usually we're gonna record once a week, and we'll upload definitely perhaps on a Thursday. I'm thinking that's a beautiful, or even sometimes even Wednesday, whatever. We're thinking, we're just going on the fly, and we're hoping that this will be a successful series that we'll like to continue no matter what. We're not, we don't want this to be a dying series just before it even kicks off, because we do think this could be something really special. It's our experience going through life. Just normal dudes talking about our thoughts. My experience with, or my thoughts on modern dating or modern romance. My thoughts of it, I do see why Emery says, like, yes, there's always been a case like where an issue like this, like there's always been issues no matter what in terms of dating. I have grown to actually agree with that, where yes, even though modern dating has seemed to be a very different aspect of life compared to what's before, and I do think so, absolutely. There has always been a struggle with dating. I do believe that, that unfortunately, when it comes to dating, everyone has always had their struggles. It just wasn't documented, which was Emery, I remember, talked about to me, where it just has never been documented or showcased as it is probably now with the age of the internet. But however, I do think the internet or we are living in the internet age where it does make it worse. I do think modern dating is worse now, yes, because of the internet, and not and for example, You have people gonna be more again, you have Instagram, you have Facebook, you have Twitters or whatever. You have people that are gonna try to like hit up a person, um, and they can easily like fall in love with somebody outside of the country. Rather, you can have that niche sort of um neighborhood where why would a person settle for someone who lives by where they work and they're not really or live and they're not really attracted to that person, while they could probably hit up somebody from the halfway across the country, and they'll be like easily, and they can easily text to each other and like each other. Then again, obviously attraction is subjective, and attraction is anything, but the thing is, it makes it harder,
You
obviously.
probably shouldn't be meeting up with people halfway across the country like that. I don't know. I think that like if you're dating somebody, fucking the Facebook dating thing, right? Like fucking sometimes I'll just be swiping on there, not even realizing what my fucking preferences are or whatever, and it'll match me with people from like Mexico City, and like fucking I'm not gonna talk to somebody who's halfway across the fucking world, man. Like that ain't fucking happening. Like that's definitely a negative. I definitely don't think that you should be falling in love with someone like if you're in New York, you shouldn't be falling in love with somebody from Texas and like doing all the fucking online long distance shit. That's not good for you. That's not good for your mental health. What you need to do is you need to find a nice local person that fucking goes to your local clubs and goes to church with you. Maybe you meet each other at the fucking local fish market. You fall in love with the fish market. You exchange numbers and stuff, and you do all that stuff. I think like again, I think that fucking I think that a lot of the problem comes down to overthinking it. People do that with like you were saying, they go like with like the fucking online thing. But again, I don't know how big of a problem that actually would be. I don't. I think that if you're just a normal person, that's not going to be like a fucking problem that you're going to be running into all the time. I don't think that like there's going to be some kind of like epidemic of people like fucking like sure it probably happens more now that we have the internet, but at the same time it's like if you want to fucking meet somebody, it's not hard. Like it's legitimately not hard at all to fucking get on fucking Facebook dating or whatever and just find somebody to fucking hang out with. Like, you might not fucking end up dating them forever or whatever, but like to hang out with somebody, to meet somebody, to fucking go out of your way to fucking associate with people. It's like, that's one of the not hardest things ever, like, honestly, to just go out there. Cause it's like fucking, I don't know, man. Fucking, it's, if you live in a place where other people exist, it's not going to be difficult for you because at the end of the day, it's like everybody talks about like how hopeless they are and how fucking they've got these problems like I'm too ugly, I'm too fat, I'm too retarded looking or whatever. But then you go outside and you see people who are in relationships and it's like it doesn't matter. Like they all fucking look insane. Like everybody looks fucking stupid. Like it fucking it is what it is. Like fucking nobody's fucking hopeless. You shouldn't be trying to fall in love with people in fucking Bangladesh. Like that's fucking stupid.
Keep in mind, this is obviously Emery's perspective, but again, I do see why he says that. I do understand where he comes from. Um, Again, yeah, obviously, example like the internet has obviously played a big role in modern dating, where people are they can fall in love with somebody, no matter if it's not in the same area as them. That would be the whole idea, like where people think that they could do long distance relationship. Not saying it can't work, but I feel like it only will work if you actually met the person in real life, not more so much where like you meet somebody from like Tinder and they're from Texas and you're from New York. So
Yeah, I mean, like if you meet somebody in person, that's different. I mean, that's an actual relationship, and I mean, I'm not saying that long distance is always bad. Sometimes, you're a woman, you got the baby, and your husband has to go fight war in the fucking Ukraine. It just happens. But like fucking, it's not like fucking like I mean, like we were saying earlier, it's like if you've never met somebody and you just fucking, you're talking to them over the internet, like over the fucking ocean, like it's not good for your mental health, and it's probably not gonna fucking work out. I mean, fuck, at the end of the day, like half the time you meet somebody that lives 2 streets over and it doesn't fucking work out. You think it's gonna work out with you with somebody from fucking like the middle of nowhere in fucking Europe? Like I don't fucking know. Like, eh.
as you hear the background, I am from New York. Emery's from Ohio. I don't know how often that you're gonna hear like again. I don't know how often we're gonna hear the sirens of firefighters or whatever. But again, it is New York. You're gonna have craziness going on, especially when you live in the city.
There's a lot
All
of
right.
murder happens in New York. It's a high murder area.
Oh yeah, Democratic state for you. Anyways, yeah, modern dating. Again, internet plays a big role. I do believe, unfortunately, even though I am a far believer that like it is worse now, but it has always been like a struggle for a lot of people. It just hasn't been documented. For example, like I'm going to tell you why it probably has always been the case. For example, my opinion, I do think sadly looks have always mattered when it comes to people like to talk about personality matters and whatever. Not saying that it doesn't matter. Of course, personality fucking matters. You know, to me, like if a girl really has a bitchy personality, I don't want to date her. Okay. Unless I'm fucking that desperate, but I'm really not that desperate as I would say I used to, or whatever. I'm just like again, I'm all about like I want to be at peace with somebody. I like if I like somebody, if they have a good personality, then that's amazing. You know, obviously if they look great, you know, that's amazing. You know, we
Right.
all want to be with somebody we're attracted to. Okay, but I do feel like yes, unfortunately, looks has always been an issue. It always was in the past, but I do think it is worse. Like I do think that even before the internet, before this whole issue of dating, that looks have always sadly mattered, but it just is not worse as it is now because you have people that like social media has made people have higher standards than you have people that they think they deserve a 10. You know, you have I mean, I'm not saying that women are like just at fault because you have women that have such high standards nowadays, but then you have men that they think they expect like again a perfect girl when they're like not even close to like being to like what the women should be. Like for example, you have men that
I think
don't work and shit like that.
it's like it's not that looks don't matter, but not in the sense of like genetically the way you're born. I think most of the time it's the way you present yourself and how you appear, like fucking you can make somebody who's just like an average looking guy look better by fucking dressing him in nice clothes and fucking cutting his hair and making him look like a presentable person. I mean, at the end of the day, I think that the way that you put yourself forward matters a lot more than the way that you came out of your mom. And not to say that again, like there aren't fucking some unfortunate people that just come out with like one eye up here and one eye over here and like they all they look insane, and it's going to be more difficult for this deformed guy. Like it's not like I'm not saying that that's not like a thing, fucking wheelchair boys, I'm sorry about your love lives, but at the end of the day, I don't think that the majority of people who are upright just walking around normal are going to be like experiencing like this horrible fucking like girls don't like me because I'm ugly, unless of course they're looking in the wrong place. I think that a lot of these guys, because it's like people will go online and then look at things like the Whatever podcast and think that that's representative of all women or even the majority of women, when that's not the case. I mean, like most of the time what you're seeing when you go online and you look at these guys that are like, can you believe this stupid bimbo bitch, like she doesn't like this guy because he's so ugly? But it's like half the time they're talking about women that are like just these fucking like retarded bimbos from like Miami. Like that's not the majority of women. Most women aren't that way and don't think that way and aren't like shitty to men. It's just like there is a certain subset of women that are. And I think that a lot of the time that we look at these people on these like viral shows and these things that blow up and they get all over your YouTube feed and they make you kind of fucking visualize that like most women are like this. Most women only want to be with somebody for their looks or because they're fucking, whatever, because they have money. And that's not necessarily the case. Again, I've known plenty of fucking poor, ugly fucks that got married and had children and had a fucking wonderful life. It's not, it doesn't come down to that. Again, I think that a lot of that is social programming. They want you to believe that you're gonna die alone, and that's just what it is. I mean, like they're just putting it in your head. That's like this is what women are like, and you can't fall for that.
I see what you're saying, and I have seen the Weather podcast. I'm not saying it's like the best representation overall, but I do think like a lot of people who do join bring up good points. I mean, do you know that chick named Brandy Ray Bennett who was in that movie Lady Ballers?
No, I don't
She
know
was
who
the one
that
that
is.
was Oh, she's like a popular like dating talker or whatever, and she's like she was in that movie Lady Ballers. Remember that lady show Lady Ballers? That movie that
I
we
remember
watched.
watching it. What did she play?
She was the like the whole like under like oh
Oh, that reporter
she
lady.
was like
Was
the
that what it
young
was?
attractive
Yeah.
weapon.
Yeah, I remember that. Fucking. Yeah, I remember her.
Yeah, she was a young attractive, like basically like oh undercover like oh we don't like trans people involved involving in women's sports and type of shit, but like oh we're gonna undermine everyone. We're gonna pretend like she basically was like kind of undercover, where like she was, but then oh, it was all a ruse. I'm gonna join this other team. That shit when she, that whole cliffhanger in the end.
Yeah, I mean, I remember the movie. Yeah, I remember her. The
She
lady.
appeared on the show. I remember, and I think she did bring up support. So like again, so I don't think like it's always the case where they bring in dumb bimbos, which I
Mhm.
do think, in my opinion, and this is where we kind of disagree of. I'm not saying I'm like some big fan of the Water podcast. It's not like I watch it all the time, but I do understand, and I do think that the reason why they have those dumb bibbles on the show, because unfortunately there are a lot of women that do display that issue where like they will showcase their issues of where they're part of the problem. You know what I mean? But again, I would say like there should be more of the representation of like showcasing like also the men's side or what's the problem with men, and because I do think in my again the problem with like I will get my thoughts about about women nowadays, but I do think there's a problem with men too, where simp culture has unfortunately played a role in dating now. So that's basically like part of it. I think that they should be showcasing like the issues of simp culture, calling out on
What
the
is
issues.
simp culture? I know what a simp is, but what is simp culture?
Well, simp culture is basically like you have like men that will be defending women no matter what. Again, and it's also like part of the reason is because they want to date a certain person. It'll be like part of, like a celebrity. They'll be freaking simping over like any women, just for getting sex.
Okay, so you're saying that this is an issue because men will fawn after these women, and then these women will get like a big head about it. Is that what the idea is?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. I mean, I can see how that could definitely be like some kind of an issue. However, again, I think that a lot of the time these people just kind of feed off of each other and kind of, it's just kind of a deadly cycle. I think that the I don't know, it's not good to be a simp as a guy, but again, like I said about how the majority of women aren't these OnlyFans bimbos, the majority of men aren't out there fucking doing that shit, I don't think. Or at least I hope not. I fucking hope not. That'd be crazy if you just found out that the majority of dudes were like on the internet just fucking commenting shit on chicks fucking posts. Like, I fucking love you. That'd be crazy. But I don't know. I'd like to believe personally that that's not the majority of men. I don't think it is. I know that the majority of men are fucking disgusting porn addicts. They need to stop. They need to fucking cut it out. But as far as the simping over like specific women and just being like crazy over them, I doubt that that's like again, it's like a vocal minority. All these people you hear about them because they're fucking loud and annoying and stupid, and so they fucking they end up at the front.
I do think like the thing is with simp culture is that one of the main things about simp culture is that you have people like who are simps. They'll simp over like a chick who's not even that attractive, and that boosts their ego, right? Like a lot of women, like they think they're all that, even though they're not 10 at all. And that's what boosts their
Who
ego.
are you to say that, man? Every like, I'm not saying that like you see some insane like a before my idea before of like some weird deformed person who's like really overweight, and like if there's a bunch of guys commenting like I love you or whatever, like I could understand being like that's weird, but at the same time it's like what the fuck. I mean, like, what's the fucking, like, at the end of the day, like if some chick you don't think she's that hot but a bunch of dudes do, I mean, it's probably not good to be simping over some chick, but like, why does that matter? Like if you don't think she's that hot.
It's not about like her being like all that hot or whatever. I mean, I'm talking about like really, if you think about like a girl who's a legit too, like she's fucking overweight as fuck or whatever, right? But then
Okay.
you have people like fucking pretend like she's the hottest or whatever. Even women that hype up like, girl, you not ugly at all, you good and shit. And then she has like this big bitchy mentality, but like she's for some reason like is an influencer. Like you have people who are influencers because you have men that simp over that bitch because they're trying to get some fucking sort of status value, and you have women that are like their buddies or whatever, but they like fake buddies too that hype her up, and then they have like this whole entitlement mentality and whatever. Like you see that like really like there's people like for example like recently isn't that whole person who says demure or whatever, like she went viral for that, and she has like a suck up mentality. Same thing with like even like this fucking fat looking Chewbacca looking bitch who would appeared on the whatever podcast one time, and then people she thinks she's a 10. So
I don't know, man. At the end of the day, like these people, like the whatever people, and like the fucking like the crazy Instagram like models and all that stuff. It's not even near my fucking brain is the thing. Like because these people are just they're not people. Like it's not like it's an idea that you're being like against, and like the fucking and I get it. It's not good. These people fucking put themselves in this bad thing. But again, like I was saying before, this isn't like the majority of people, and we shouldn't be basing our fucking like the way that we think about like, oh, this is how I'm gonna act towards women, this is how I'm gonna think about them, like they all want my money, they all want my whatever, I'm just gonna be used. It's like fucking I don't know. I think that that's paranoia, and I think that that's just not going to be healthy or positive at the end of the day. I think again, these people, the correct way to go about dealing with them is to laugh at them and ignore them, because they have no real significance. These are just these are anomalies. Like fucking I saw that clip you were talking about where the lady was saying that she thinks she's a 10, and it's like, sure, I don't think she is. She's definitely not a 10. Looking at her, I'm not like, I want to fuck this chick, and I'm not like I want to take you out and take you for a steak dinner and have all sorts of, I want to fill you up, lick your face, fucking squeeze your pores until all the white juice comes out. That's not my thoughts. But I think that again, it's like, who gives a fuck if she thinks she's a 10? It doesn't like matter. She's just some fat chick. Fucking, it's funny that she said that, and then she got made fun of on the podcast. Like that was a funny moment to see or whatever. Like I like watching that stuff because it's just like brain rot. But at the end of the day, like, doesn't fucking matter. Like, not really. I don't think that these things are actually as indicative of the culture as they want you to think they are. I think that that's like not as I think that if you went to a nice club, and I'm not talking about the club with the music, I mean, you got involved and you got a hobby or something, and you just met people that way, and you just like got out of your house, that you would find that there are just normal people out there that function like human beings and don't act like, I don't know, whatever podcast people. Because at the end of the day, those people aren't acting like people.
I think the thing is though, it's about them being influencers, and a lot of people follow them because of that, and that's what leads to people like believing this whole mentality, or they themselves would be influenced by that. Again, you have going back to the whole demure person. People then started saying demure all the time, like, oh, that's very demure, very cutesy, very mindful. That's how like the crazy world of this internet shit, because like it leads to people being so influenced to freaking repeat that cycle. It's like that is why I think it's a problem. Like people are so easily influenced to like say that type of shit, and they'll listen to people like that.
I think that it's definitely not good that those people have that many followers and all of that. And there are people out there that do think that way and act fucking stupid, and you should steer clear of them. However, I think that it's very easy to spot those people, and that a lot of the time, avoiding interactions with people like that is not that hard most of the time.
But the problem is, like, you do have people like, even like if let's say you met me a nice person, a person who's like nice, let's say like nice, actual, nice, attractive girl, they'll freaking sadly like just say for the heck of it because it's very demure. They'll just do it because of, unfortunately, like, it is a trend. Like,
yeah, but like I do
look at the hot food chick.
fucking memes and stuff. Like, it is what it is. It's like the fucking we've been fucking, even in the group chat we've been in, like all of our buddies for the past couple of weeks have been doing that I'm just a chill guy thing. You know what I mean? Like, it's
Mm.
just a fucking meme. I mean, it's a bit. So you see some chick say demure or whatever. Like, I'm just gonna fill you in on this. Like, this is just like, if you don't take anything I say to heart ever again, whatever. But like, take this to heart. Fucking, when you're out there looking for a woman, if you're trying to date somebody, the last fucking thing that should be on your mind is this chick funny? Because 9 times out of 10 the answer is no. It, it's not like, so like, if they're saying demure and like fucking, fucking referencing memes from years ago, I mean, like, at the end of the day, like, you're not trying to date somebody so they can make you laugh all day. And if they are funny, that's a great added bonus. That's awesome.
It is a
If you
bad
found some
bonus,
chick
yeah.
that's funny, that's fucking amazing. But you should never go into a fucking date with some girl and think like, oh, this chick's gonna be hilarious. Because again, 9 times out of 10 the answer to that is no. It ain't happening.
Yeah.
So
Even like, if like, let's say a favorite, let's say like a YouTuber, I'll be like my favorite female YouTuber, like for example, Brett Cooper. The comment section, Brett Cooper, which she's no longer on the comment section anymore, if you know.
yeah,
Uh,
there was that controversy with the
yeah,
Daily Wire. They suck. It is what it is. I know
yeah.
who Brett Cooper
But
is.
like, I like her. I say I think she's fucking gorgeous. But
Yeah,
like
I
the
was gonna
thing,
say. I mean, I don't know nothing about her fucking politics or
yeah.
whatever. I think she's a good-looking lady, so I give her a thumbs up.
Well,
I
I think she's smart too. I think she's smart.
that's
I will say that she's smart. I like her videos, but I'm not gonna say she's like very funny. Like, and that's like, even like for me saying like a girl, like, usually, and this is not even an insult. Women are just not like as funny, or they're not normally as funny as like guys. You're gonna be more likely to laugh at a guy joke than woman. Like, for
I
example,
can't.
like I remember, Robin.
I said I can't disagree with you.
Yeah. Like, for example, like a guy, like you ever heard of Uncle Roger?
No,
How you not know Uncle Roger?
I don't fucking know. I've never heard of him.
Whatever. I was looking at this guy, Uncle Roger. So he's like an internet comedian. He has like so it's like this guy who impersonates as a guy named Uncle Roger, but like he does videos about Uncle Roger reacts to whatever. More so, he reacts to like cooking videos or whatever. But he really or he reacts to anything involving Chinese culture. He's like plays a Chinese stereotypical Chinese uncle that would talks in a Chinese accent, but he reacts like he really reacts like so badly to some videos that basically don't really cook proper Chinese food or authentic Chinese food. And
Okay.
um one video recently, I think he was like freaking talking about like this show Martin Yan. Martin Yan is a famous chef. He was reviewing, or he was like talking about him, and they showed a video, like they showed something. Is that my ex-wife? And it's not even his ex-wife. They look like like an ugly picture. Like, oh my god, is that my ex-wife?
Nice.
So like again, like shit like that is actually funny, and that's like something that recently that made me funny when a guy said that. Okay, so like more likely guy jokes just make you laugh. And so that's how it is, and it can be the simplest
That
shit.
was such a fucking wow. That was a crazy fucking, what's the word for that? Diversion. That was our tangent. That was a wild tangent. Fucking talking about this Asian guy. I've fucking never Uncle Roger. Fucking, so is Uncle Roger? Let's say hypothetically, you and Uncle Roger were together on the fucking on the back roads, and your car broke down. You have no gas, can't get anywhere. Closest town is 50 miles away. It's gonna take you a day and a half to walk there. Uh, so you're out in the fucking desert with what's his name, Uncle Roger. So how many hours would pass before you and Uncle Roger start jerking each other off?
You're fucking gross. You know that. You're fucking gross. I'm not even answering that shit.
I think I'm a pretty intelligent guy. So, but as far as the modern dating goes, again, I think it's awesome. I'm here for it. I think that it's great for us to move into the next realm. If it were up to me, we would get 5 Elon Musk brain chips. We would cut open my skull and we put all these brain chips in my head, and then I would become one with the internet. I would fuse my soul with the internet, and then I would just date online forever. I wouldn't even meet any women in person ever again. I would just go into their computers and I would haunt them. I would haunt their house. That's how I would do it. I want to go ultra modern with my dating. That's what this is. Ultra modern romance, where you go into the people's houses by putting your soul into the internet. Usually you got to use fiber optic cable. If you use normal cable, it'll just fuck everything up and you'll probably die.
I'm scared. Oh, that's something you can expect definitely on the show. Emery, wacky Emery, ladies and gentlemen. I love it. Okay, we're gonna talk. Okay, we've been talking about internet. Okay, yes, I do think like internet's cool, but unfortunately with dating, not so much. I'm gonna give you the 5 things that I think is problem with modern dating. Social media is part of it.
Okay.
Social engineering. We're gonna explain about that. Feminism. Again, not saying that women deserve right. No. We're gonna talk about like third wave feminism. All right, I think that's what we're talking about. Social media. Oh yeah, social media, essentially feminism, hypergamy. All right, and promiscuity. We're gonna talk about those things. You ever heard of those terms by Emery before?
Yeah, I know what all of those things are. I fucking yeah.
Would you agree?
I passed high school barely. But what were you saying?
But would you agree like with those 5 things that
I think all 5 of those things can have a negative effect. Sure, I think that all of those things are they can definitely make dating more difficult. They can make a new boulder for you to get over. But also at the same time, I think that these negative things also help you weed out who you don't want to be with. So it can be a positive in that way. As far as hypergamy, as you said, talking about the whole people fucking all the time and being promiscuous. Definitely not good. I think that that's a bad thing for your mental health. I think that you shouldn't be constantly having sex with everyone all the time. Though, I mean, as a human being, I get the fucking drive. You're a fucking human and you're thinking like, man, gotta procreate. I need to fuck. Like that's fucking constantly in your head. It's like, I get it. Like at the same time, it's one of the things you got to not do as a human being is give in to your base fucking carnal instincts all the time. It can be negative because once you get like sex addiction, porn addiction, all that stuff, you start doing weirdo stuff. You start thinking crazy things. You start getting to a point where the only thing that'll ever get you off is watching a grown man fuck a snake on Pornhub, and that's not what you need to do. So fucking definitely, hyper polygamy, all that stuff. As far as what was that? Feminism definitely has things in it that I'm like, whatever. It has things in it that I'm like, okay, that's fine. But it has things in it that I'm like, fuck that. And it has in a lot of ways, I think. Done fuck that to dating. I think that in a lot of ways that breaking down traditional gender roles has been a negative. The idea that women don't need to do women things and men don't need to do men things, I think that it's made it harder for people to date. I think that they're trying to put a woman in a man's role and a man in a woman's role and like trying to break down like the barriers between what a man and a woman is and trying to like break that into like not traditional. I think that's bad. I think that that's definitely probably been one of the more major things that's caused dating to be rough is because of that, but like at the same time, I also understand people's arguments when they talk about, how negative it was for women at a certain point with dating, used to, you would have like weird things where it was like completely arranged. And, I've heard arguments from people where they're like arranged marriages are good, arranged dating is good. And like, you can have that debate with me at another time. Personally, I don't like the non-freedom that comes with that. I'm a big freedom guy. I think that you should be free to go out there and test, find your person and all that stuff. That's personally the way I feel about it. But as far as that goes with the feminism, breaking down traditional gender roles is definitely not a good thing. What were the other 2 things you said? Polygamy or no?
Okay, social media, social engineering, feminism, hypergamy, promiscuity.
Fucking social media, we already kind of talked about that. Again, I think positives and negatives. It's good that you can get connected with somebody really quickly. It's also negative on your brain, and it has, that togetherness has also created a certain form of isolation, which is kind of weird. It's a very interesting little place to be at. As social engineering. I mean, yeah, I mean, you constantly got the politicians and you got the people at the top trying to fucking make people do fucking crazy things and change the way that they think, the way that they do stuff, and fuck with their brain, fuck with their sexuality, and make them different people. I mean, that's just how it is, though. I mean, the CIA is gonna do what the CIA is gonna do. It's not like we can really do a whole lot to fight that, but at the same time, you just, like I was saying before, you go out there and you just fucking meet other people. Like, it's not like fucking, like, even in the Matrix, right? Like in that movie, fucking literally everybody's in a pod, but Keanu Reeves still found a woman to put her mouth on his mouth. So it's not like that fucking, like it's not fucking negative for everybody. Like, you'll find somebody, even if the whole fucking world goes to shit, you'll probably find somebody else out there that it's like, hey, I mean,
Not
like,
always.
we gotta procreate, we gotta recreate the world. I mean, you might end up in one of those situations. Who fucking knows? But like fucking, well, yeah, I think your top 5 reasons, I mean, those are definitely bad, like for the most part. I mean, I get what you're saying. It's negative that those things are involved with dating. I think that the fucking the social engineering one is probably, that's probably definitely the bad one, because that's the thing, like you were saying, or I guess I was saying when I went on that tangent about feminism breaking down the gender roles. I mean, that's all part of that's part of the idea, to get people to fucking, make them docile. That's what I think they're trying to do. That's why they're trying to make you stupid with the lead in the water. Not lead. It's not lead. It's fluoride. They put fluoride in the water to make you stupid. I drink a lot of water, obviously. I drink so much fluoride, and it's made me fucking brain dead retarded, and that's why I talk the way I do. So fucking, but yeah, I mean, those are good reasons. I think the top 5 reasons dating is bad for people. I don't actually have a top 5. I think that the number one reason that dating is bad for a lot of people and they get lonely is, I think a lot of people go into it with the wrong mindset. And I've done that before too. I'm not even saying that I'm not negative of, like, like, not fucking, guilty of that. I would be a hypocrite to say I wasn't. I've gone into this with the wrong mindset. I've gotten my head too fucking wrapped up in the dating apps and the fucking all this woe is me, like I'm gonna die alone forever. But at the end of the day, like, it's all about going into it, realizing whatever happens, and you're just going out of your way to meet people at this point. You're just trying to make some good friends that are girls right now. That's your goal at the moment. So that's all you're doing. You're going out there, you're trying to meet some people. But fucking whatever. Fucking what were you gonna say? What did you have to add to your top 5 list?
No, I think you knocked it out of the park. Those are easily what I would say are the 5 top reasons. You mentioned it. Something what I would say about social engineering, though, is that, again, like, it is a construct of, like, popular, like, whatever was popular belief, or what is basically, in terms of social engineering, people care more so, like, oh, association, unfortunately, or you have girls that take care about their status and whatever, or care about man's status. You're rarely gonna see people who are not necessarily, like, when I talk about attraction, is that people who are not conventionally attractive, it's harder for them to, like, get a girl, or it's hard, like, in terms of, like, what they can get, because people are unfortunately, if you're not conventionally attractive, you're less likely to be viewed as cool, or even thought of cool, or being considered cool, or anything you do is cool, as opposed to a person who's conventionally attractive. A conventionally attractive guy will easily get away with anything. Again, look at what happened recently with the whole CEO United Healthcare shit, which I want to talk about. That's, again, what you mentioned recently. We want to definitely talk about in future videos. Thoughts on, like, certain marriages, or especially arranged marriage will be a part of it. And we should definitely talk about the whole, like, love for, like, killers, like, freaking, you have people
Oh, that's
liking.
that's been a thing for fucking ever. There were chicks that wanted to fuck Charlie Manson. There were chicks that wanted to fuck Ted Bundy. That's been a thing for fucking, again, like we were saying before about how it just got, we think it's worse because we have our phones now, but like that, women thinking that killers were attractive has been a thing since the fucking dawn of time. The bad boy is always going to be attractive, even if the bad boy is a guy who puts a fucking bullet in the back of the head of a fucking, father of 3 or whatever the guy was. Fucking,
Yeah.
it is what it is. It's not good. You definitely shouldn't be attracted to killer women, but like at the same time, it's like, you ever seen that Jodi Arias chick, that girl who fucking stabbed her boyfriend to death on a washing machine and like fucking just like destroyed his whole life and took it? Yeah, she was very attractive. It's not something I'm proud of saying. I mean, I'm not here like, oh yeah, we should want to fuck murderers. We should want to fucking get married to people who kill people and be attracted to them. But at the end of the day, man, Jodi Arias, she's a good looking lady. I can't help it. And I mean, if you look at that Luigi guy, be honest with yourself. He's handsome.
Yeah,
Like,
he's what women consider chads. Like,
I think he's a handsome guy. He's what I would consider a Chad. Like, if you wanted
yeah.
to find, I mean, not in like the action way. They definitely shouldn't be shooting people. I want to preface that before I say anything else. You don't murder people. Murdering people is wrong. However, if I could make myself look like Luigi, what's his face? I would. He's a handsome guy. What am I supposed to say about that? Am I supposed to think he's ugly? I mean, he's not. I can't fucking argue I can't argue against fucking the facts of life. That's what God did. God made him handsome, and I'm supposed to argue that? Like, I can't. Like, it is what it is.
I just think that the thing, obviously, it's not fair. It's not fair. Like it's not like
Not
people.
fair.
Oh, what?
What do you mean not fair? That they want to fuck him?
Well, I mean, what I'm trying to say is like in terms of like you got people. Yeah, well, that's part of it. What I'm trying to say is like what I mean that it's not fair is that I'm trying to say like yes, that's part of it. But you have people Jeremy Meeks, him, they've done bad crimes.
Uh-huh.
It's not that like we hate him. Is that unfortunately they're like they are just like they're flaunted over. Like it proves why people complain about looks matter. More than personality. For people who say like personality matters, you got people that are swooning over these motherfuckers for their looks.
But
And
the
they say
people
like
that swoon over them are fucking mentally ill and deranged and insane and aren't the fucking type of people that you should be going out of your way to try to date anyway.
well,
Thank the fucking God that he put Luigi Maggioni, whatever the fuck, on the face of this planet so we could know which women are trying to fucking date and be with murderers and would be insane and not a good idea for you to go out with. I mean, thank fucking heavens, man. Like,
But it's
fuck.
but what I'm trying to say, but the thing is, it seems like fuck so many, even like girls I met in like freaking high school or college, like they're fucking think like they're like supporting him just because of his look. What I'm trying to say also is like the idea of pretty privilege is an issue. You like pretty privilege, you can get away with shit. So I do think like the whole idea of pretty privilege, I can argue, does exist.
I mean, yeah, sure. I could kind of see that, but like at the same time, it's like some people are born with it, some people aren't. If you're not, you got to do what you fucking can with what you do got. You can't be sitting around being upset that you're not attractive. If you're not attractive, you got to fucking find a way to make yourself stand out and do the thing. It might not even be a bad thing to be fucking ugly at the end of the day. Like if that's what it is, because I mean, like if you think about it, now you just got to find something else to make yourself stand out and make yourself look fucking good to a woman. It doesn't fucking like matter. I mean, at the end of the day, man, I've seen the weirdest looking fat fucks end up with the hottest chicks, and I'll fucking think in my head, like, how the fuck did that happen? But that's because they were good at something. They had a nice personality. They actually did something, and they found some chick that wasn't, some shallow bimbo that you find on the whatever podcast. It happens all the time.
Yeah,
All the time you see that shit. It is what it is. Like fucking, I think
we
that
always that's the thing that people always say that, and I'm not saying like that. Like listen, yes, strange things have happened, but like we always hear that scenario like, oh, I've seen a guy who's ugly that got more chicks than like, but where is that guy? Who's that guy? But again, one person, but that's like, again, it's like one person does not like excuse the whole issue. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure. It might be ugly, bad for people to be ugly. What are you gonna do?
Yeah,
like,
and
what do you actually do to fix that other than find something else that you're good at? Because like fucking, if you go into something like, oh, I'm ugly, I'm never gonna get with any women. It's like, yeah, you're not gonna. Like, that's not gonna happen because
I agree.
You're around being worried about being fucking ugly all the time. Get good at something, because at the end of the day, if all somebody's relying on is how fucking good they look, actually try talking to that person, and they're usually brain dead retarded. Like, it's not like fucking you talking to these fucking like people out there, like these fucking like male models or these fucking like Instagram chicks, and having some deep conversation about what the fuck this person was doing in the 16th century or whatever. Like, it's not like you're gonna have some fucking like fucking great thing going on with these fucking people. I mean, so at the end of the day, like I was saying before, get good at something. Find something that you're good at. Find a fucking common ground with somebody. Like fucking, you have stuff that you like. You have things that you can do. You got to find the proper way to play it and the proper way to look at it. And if you're constantly thinking about like, oh, I'm not as good as this other guy. This other guy is so much better looking than me. This other dude's doing this. It's like, yes, it can be tempting to fall into that fucking mindset, but it's not good for you, and you're not going to get anywhere doing that. You have to fucking think of the bigger picture, think of your life as a whole, and where you are right now, and where you want to be, and work towards that. It's not about fucking comparing yourself to where other people are at the moment. It's like, shit, I've made fucking $5,000 a month at a point. I've been almost homeless before. It is what it is. Life is a series of ups and downs, and fucking some people's down is that they're ugly, and that's fine. Like fucking, it's okay to be ugly. Just find
It
something
could be a
to do.
blessing. It could be a blessing to like, because then you actually know who actually fucks with you and not. Like
Yeah, I mean that's what like
Yeah.
what was that? It was like in Guardians of the Galaxy when he said that thing where he's like fucking the retarded one talks about he's like I think it's better to be ugly because then you know if people really care about you. It's like I mean yeah, in a
Drax,
lot of
right?
ways, yeah. I mean there's a lot of fucking
Drax.
if you're yeah Drax.
Batista, aka Dave Batista, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, he looks fucking weird now. It's very
Oh,
strange to look at him. He used to look like a human, and now he looks fucking weird. Fucking, I don't like that. Fucking, there's something right there. Fucking, some people are good looking, and then they make themselves ugly. So fucking, you got fucking leg up over that, and fucking. Also, I think that this isn't something that you particularly need to be worrying about because you're not an ugly guy. Like fucking, you're brown, but that doesn't fucking mean anything. Like it's not holding you back. It is what it is. Like I think that a lot of your issue is your mindset, and a lot of it has to do with presentation. And I think that's one that we need to go over. If we're talking about like topics and stuff, that's a big one that I think you and a lot of people in this world actually have a problem with. These people to talk about like fucking I'm forever alone. Well, it's like how are you presenting yourself to the world? Like people talk about like what can women do for me? What can I get to get these chicks all over me? What can I do? What's the magic pickup line that can get a fucking chick to fucking look at me from across the bar or whatever? It's like fuck all of that. Getting down to the brass tacks. What is your presentation and how are you doing things and how are you fucking I think that should be one of our first fucking ones. Honestly, our first topics is working on the presentation. I think that because any good sales pitch starts with a good presentation. So I think that the proper presentation, that's a good one to go for. And we can definitely that's one we can definitely work on, and we can I think a fun one for this series is not only me. I mean, people need to comment on this and give us their ideas and their fucking like everything that they're thinking in their head too. But the one of the fun things that we're going to be doing with this series is field testing. We give Zubair ideas, we tell him these things, these thoughts and concepts, because this isn't just about bullshitting and opinions and all that stuff. This is about execution. This is about going out into the world and doing this thing properly. So we have these ideas. We help Zubair work on himself, and then he goes out into the field and he does it. And he sees how it works out, and he comes back and reports back, and then we fucking find out where he went wrong. And then we can go off of previous things and then, kind of build towards to where he's, out there fucking at least going to get some coffee with some chick at Barnes and Noble, like fucking.
Same thing will go to Emery though. Like Emery will be testing for himself.
Whatever's happening on my end as far as the ladies go, I mean, you look at me, I'm obviously fucking rolling in it. But fucking as far as that goes, I'll come on here, I'll talk about whatever. I don't give a fuck. Like I'll come in and say, hey, I spoke to a girl today about what her favorite color is and do all that. But like fucking like I was saying before, I'm trying to get Zubair married and have children. That's my goal here. I want him to fucking walk away here with at least 7 kids, and they all need to be named Muhammad.
You and the girl?
Yeah, even if you have girls, they need to be Muhammad. In honor of the lovely prophet.
Hey, pass me on. Oh no. Anyways, okay, yeah. Freaking Emery's fucking great. Great. Okay. Yeah. Okay. We talked about the 5 issues. But we're gonna definitely talk about, I think, the just of what I know, and then we're gonna go back to my story of like my issue. Obviously, I don't like that Emery's putting me on the foot. Making it sound like, oh, I'm like the guy who's very struggling. I know compared to him, I am, but just like obviously, like the goal is like really just ourselves giving our opinions and stuff, but also we talk about our experience. But regardless, again, this is our first episode. Well, again, it's gonna be a coming age type of story. We're gonna talk about our life, and we're gonna grow with this show, and then we're hopefully like take you on a journey. And you can obviously feel free to talk about your stories too on the comment section. Absolutely no
Just
problem.
tell us. Yeah, I don't give a fuck. Like if you, I mean, I'll read it. I mean, at the end of the day, like whatever the fuck you comment, I'm gonna end up reading it probably because I have nothing fucking better to do half the time than look at shit on YouTube. But like fucking yeah, go ahead and comment shit. I'll read it. I'll go over it. If you say something fucking productive, or like if you say something that interests me or Zubair, we'll probably talk about it. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
Feel free to talk. Let us know what you wish us to talk about.
yeah, comment or question of the day. That's what we're gonna do, and this is the first one. Comment or question of the day. When you're at the club and you're fucking living it up in the club and you got fucking all the fucking songs and all the fucking shit happening around you and you see a fucking sexy ass babe at the bar and you want to fucking walk up and say something, what's your fucking move? That's the question for the day. That's the comment or question of the day. Comment down below. Comment about that. If you're a little too embarrassed to talk about that, that's fine. The secondary comment question of the day for the people who are too embarrassed to fucking answer the first one. What's your favorite tropical fruit and why? That's the other comment or question. If you want to talk about that, we can talk about fruits, whatever. I really don't give a shit. This is the Emery and Zubair show talking about the despair of life and dating and how all it does is make us want to fucking eat a bullet and fucking bury ourselves alive in the fucking mess of wet mud and suffocate. That's what this is. This is the depression podcast about how upset we are at the modern dating world. Fucking yeah,
And
go ahead.
somehow tropical fruit plays a big role because it's, I don't know, if we won't be dated for liking a specific fruit. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. If you say, what's your favorite tropical fruit? And some chick says, my favorite tropical fruit's watermelon. That's when you pull out a fucking blunt object and you hit her in the leg with it. And you say, no, motherfucker, watermelon's not a tropical fruit. That's a fruit that's grown in the USA.
Yeah. All right. Anyways, okay. Yes, we talked about the 5 things, the 5 issues, in my opinion. But again, the whole social engineering. Again, when I going back to the whole association, I feel like again, I do think that because of the certain standards that's been established or certain things of life that's been established, if you don't fit in that social construct, it's gonna make it harder for you to basically get into dance, get into the basically the way of being able to date people. That's basically what I would say, or even associate with anybody. So that's why I would say in terms of social engineering. Um, but yeah, my thoughts on modern dating. I do believe it is worse compared to before. Sure, Emery has said that it's just never been documented, but I do think that part of there it has been worse than before because yes, all the 5 issues that come along with it makes it worse. From what I know, and I will say that again, we did talk about it. Looks, I do think like for people say personality matters more than looks, it's a cap, because unfortunately when you see a lot of issues with dating, and again, especially with long line dating, people seem to really care more so about looks than personality. Because how the hell you gonna know someone's personality through online dating? But yeah, looks do sadly matter compared to now of before because even when you go up to somebody, you try to spark up a conversation or you just at least try to say hi to somebody. You can a woman will not even like try to say. Again, like when talking about like meeting some girl at a fish market, you can easily have somebody say like, "Oh, hey, discuss. Actually, give me 1 second. Talk to the people."
What are the people talking? The fuck happened? Okay, well, Uh,
Oh,
fucking. He was about to say he couldn't meet a nice girl in a fish market. I disagree. I think that that's definitely feasible. I think that that's something that anybody could do.
I'm back. Something happened.
Okay.
All right. What we're saying? Oh, no, what I mean by in terms of talking to somebody in a fish market, it's just like when I'm talking about. Let's say this: if you were to approach a girl now, it's not as acceptable as it used to be. You know, we are told like it's creepy and weird to try to like talk to a girl, a random person. You can't even say hi to a girl unless like okay, I do when I go back to looks. Unfortunately, with looks, like if you don't look like a certain person that like basically if you don't look conventionally attractive, it's gonna be a big disadvantage with you because you can't just go up to a girl with you just say like hi, how are you, or you ever been to this area before, whatever. Basically, cold approaching. I actually have done cold, and we'll talk about my stuff. What I know with cold approach, if you're a very conventionally unattractive dude, you're less likely to have somebody willing to talk to you, or you're gonna probably deal with uh, harsh comments from a girl. Okay, it's gonna fucking happen. You're most likely more so guys. Not saying that it's all the time because yes, there even conventionally attractive dudes will not get a high back or a girl would be willing to talk to them at the moment, but they're more likely to have that chance to like if a guy says hi to them, a girl will more likely talk to them. Same thing if you were to go to, let's say, a bar, local bar, or just even a setting, you're more likely to have an attractive dude, a conventionally attractive dude. They'll be willing to be able to talk to a chick, and there'll be no problems. The girl will less likely be offended because sometimes we do, especially what I've seen in this world, even from my experience. If you're conventionally unattractive and you go to talk to a girl, they'll have the thing like, man, you disgust me. You have the nerve that you talk in their mind. That's what they're gonna be thinking in their mind. What the fuck you think you? Who the hell you think you are to talk to me? You know what I mean? Because they're repulsed by it. They'll probably be nice at the moment, but then they'll be like, oh my god, that guy talked to me. Ugh, I feel so repulsed and shit like that.
If you can't know that.
No, you could.
You can't know what they're thinking at the time when you walk up to them, and I doubt that that's even.
Well, not at the time, but you'll know, like at least eventually, and you will know by like just if you like. I would know because again, if I was to walk away, even like if I was to walk away saying like, "Oh my god, that guy talked to me," like do their friends like talking about that? You know what I mean? But especially this is from experience.
I mean, some of them might. I don't know, but I again, like it's just luck of the fucking draw, man. Fucking 100 no's is one yes. So that's how I fucking see it.
Well, 100 no, 100 no's, and so far barely a yes. So I mean, a girl will say yeah. Listen, I have gotten girls' numbers, gotten girls' Instagrams. They'll say yes, but in reality, it doesn't matter. And that's why I'm also going to talk about the problems, the issues now. Like, a girl will probably say like, yeah, we'll be down to go out or whatever. I was supposed to go on dates and stuff like that before. But then, unfortunately, either last minute or even no response to lead to the date happening. Okay, let's just go from there. Um, that will happen, sadly, especially
how
if
does conversations go.
we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it, but it's just really just not like one specific person. It's in general, and I could just sum up from general. But again, what I do think, I'm just kind of going in with my thoughts on modern day modern romance. For people to say personality matters, again, I do agree personality does matter and matters to me. But unfortunately, it does seem like more so in terms of people, they care more so about looks. When people say that like it's all about personality, there's a bunch of cap because they'll say personality matters, but then they're shading a guy who's absolutely fucking like an attractive guy. Like they'll look like Luigi. They'll look like the fucking Luigi, the fucking serial killer. Okay, they'll look like that. That's what's gonna fucking happen. They'll say like you're barely going to see someone outside of the norm who is not really conventionally attractive. But again, they have something else to compensate with it. Is maybe because they're fucking rich. They have money. Like again, the main three things that you have to have in order to probably at least win, or at least have a chance, is looks, money, and status. I do think that will always play a role. This is not me trying to sound like an incel or whatever. Even though we will talk about incels in the future, my thoughts or whatever. I'm just gonna go on to say that I'm not trying to hate on incels because I do understand they have an issue. I do sympathize with them, but again, but like I would say there's two types of incels, and I'm gonna only feel sorry for one of those incels. You have two types of incels that are like, in the world. One, people who are just normal people that are trying to get dating, but they're conventionally unattractive or just never really given the chance. Those are the people I feel bad for. And especially the ones who actually put effort to it. Then you have those motherfuckers who are, yes, the actual misogynistic type of motherfuckers who think they're owed something and they're fat and whatever, and they probably have a simpy past, whatever. Those are the people you shouldn't really feel bad for because they're willing to not put efforts in whatever. Okay, and they'll just just say stupid shit. Those are the insults to not feel bad for. The people who are insults to feel bad for what are actual legit people. They're just really just normal people, They don't really need a label to be told incel and whatever. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, but that's what I said because I think that that's what people. Unfortunately, that's the popular belief. People think insults are the more so misogynistic people and whatever. But then when you come to realize it, when you really see about it, a lot of these people who are actually incel, they're like again, they are just fucking. Incel is just another term for virgin. Like before,
Yeah, if you're an incel, at the end of the day, it's usually of your own volition for the most part. Most of the time, I think that most of the time, these people aren't these hopeless fucking guys or whatever. They've just convinced themselves that they are. They're usually mentally ill. They're lonely. They go on Reddit and they post these things like, "I'm an incel. I'm lonely forever." It's like, no, you're probably just fucking 22 years old and sad. Like, and that happens. And it's fucking upsetting, and you might think that the whole world's against you because you don't have a chin, and like the whole fucking like everything's not gonna go your way or whatever. But at the end of the day, man, fucking nobody is ever 100% involuntarily celibate, and it's not partially their fault. Anybody can date somebody that's like below their dating pool. Like that's the fucking, and that's the truth. Like fucking, like if it was this fucking really big deal for these guys to go out there and they're like, I'm never gonna get laid, I'm never gonna fucking be with a chick, I'm never gonna like fucking whatever. It's like, why don't you try dating a fat girl? But none of them want to do it. None of them actually fucking, it's not about being involuntarily celibate. It's because these men, most of the time, aren't being recognized by the women that they want to be recognized by. But the thing is, it's like the women you want to be recognized by half the time are fucking the whatever podcast girls. And I think that that's a lot of men's problem, is that they're looking at the wrong place. They're not going to church and trying to find some nice, wholesome fucking church girl that just wants to fucking, do the right thing with them and like do all the fucking, and like go through the motions and do all the fucking proper things that a relationship should be. They're just trying to fucking get laid by these whatever podcast chicks. And it's not going to work out. Or even if like you're looking at these chicks and like they're like these OnlyFans models or whatever, and you're trying to have like an actual relationship with them, like you're insane. Like that's just it's not going to work out. Like these are just like not. Again, I think that most of these incels, incel is up here. It's not like a fucking thing that God bestowed upon you. Like it didn't just like, it wasn't like you're gonna be an incel now. You have no choice. It's like it's all being an incel's in your head, and you got to constantly be working on yourself to like if you work on yourself, you're not gonna be that. Like so.
So I'm gonna refute a few things. I understand what you're saying. I like, yeah, more so up here, but sometimes you can't really change because there's been men, unfortunately, that never got a girlfriend and they're like fucking literally gonna be the real life 40-year-old virgin. I mean, sure,
Yeah.
you can say that maybe part of it. Oh, we can always say that it's their fault, whatever, but sometimes it's not. You know what I mean? And maybe like they have like, okay, fuck it, I'll take anything. But you have like, here's why I will say it. First of all, no, who the hell really wants to be with a fat girl unless you have a fat fetish? I don't know. Like obviously, in terms of myself, I want to be, and I think this is something we could talk about. Like, what's our type? Like obviously, I want to be with a girl who takes care of herself. Maybe that's part. Like sure, I have like standards. I'll own up to it. I have standards. Emery, you have standards too. Okay, we have standards. But like again, you don't want to be with fat girls, or unless you want to. I don't know. I don't know about you. But like, again, you have like maybe people who like, okay, fuck it, I'll even take a fat girl. But like, you have those fat girls that they think like they're like owed something more than that. Like they think like even. But the thing, I do think like if a guy is like not fat, like why are they like they shouldn't really need to like try to like chase a fat girl, especially when they like take care of themselves. But unfortunately, they have to because they're not either like conventionally attractive. That's all they can sadly get at times. But then you have at times like those fat girls, they think that they deserve like a 6 foot guy who is attractive, whatever. They think like they deserve that.
But that's not the majority of them, though. Like, that's not the thing. Like, you've got to understand
I disagree.
this idea that you have of women. You're talking about these fucking New York fucking bimbos that you meet at the club or at the bar, or like all these fucking like again, like I was saying before, like fucking go to church, go somewhere where there's actual human fucking beings, and like this club scene with these fucking 22-year-old fucking sluts that you're taking these fucking weird photos with out there, like at SantaCon. That's not it. Like fucking.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, but okay,
you're looking at the wrong spot.
Okay, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. But like, but okay, it's not always about like where they are. Like that's like all. What I'm trying to say is, yes, maybe it's not great to like try to find somebody at a bar, and I'm not endorsing to try to go at a bar or whatever. But sometimes it does translate to how people could be. They might not show it in like in a nice setting like where like at church, but that's sadly like in terms of how sometimes their mindset is. And I do think that that's just how it is in the world now. It's just how they're gonna like they have that entitlement mentality, and they might not show it at church though. That's just the way.
I don't know. I don't even think, but I think that like you're going into it wrong. Like I think that you're thinking about it like these chicks that's their default mindset. That like that's what a woman just thinks of is like, oh, I need to get with some guy with power, or with money, or with wealth, or whatever. But that's not like that's just not the fucking. It's just not how it is. And again, I think if you fucking clean yourself up and you go out there and you just talk to people, you'll find plenty of women that want to actually fucking associate with you and be around you. It's just like, again, you're looking in the wrong spot. And maybe fucking New York City, like in the middle of where you're at, ain't like the right spot. Maybe you got to go out there a little bit further. Maybe you got to go a couple times over. Maybe it's just like you're in a bad culture area.
We'll talk about our issues, but again, I'm not trying to talk about but in terms of my experience. I'm talking about like from what I know and even from people. But again, yes, part of it is my experience, but what I just know in general and what I've seen other people have to deal with, I'm just going based on that. So I don't really want to just string up like somewhat personally at the moment. We'll definitely talk about it. Okay. Again, we're gonna talk about like our experience soon. But again, like yes, like when I'm talking about, oh, just stay a fat girl, bro. But again, you have those people like. What I know is that even like if you want to talk to a nice girl, like I talked to nice girls before, right? Or I know other people who talk to nice girls, but like the sad thing is, and even what I've seen with nice girls, and I hate to say it, this is not me trying to like, oh, women bad or whatever, but like even you have these nice girls, you have people that are superficial, because they think that they're owed. What I'm trying to say is, even if let's say this. Mm-hmm. If you have the same political beliefs as one person, like let's say you're conservative, and the girl's conservative, she's really cute. Mm-hmm. You will still want to date with somebody who's actually conventionally attractive. You know what I mean? And why would they want to sell with somebody who's not conventionally attractive when they could go with get somebody who's like they have more options? You know what I mean? It's all about
right.
Mm-hmm. They have other options. Like there's another guy who goes to church, but he's very good looking. Like what would give him like it's like it's a battle that's going to be a never-ending battle for these people who are conventionally unattractive.
I don't know. I can't see it that way. I don't think that every woman out there is out there to get a man or constantly try to like fight to find like the better fucking. A lot of them are, sure. And I mean, like that is a big problem with the modern dating world. I mean, you constantly got a different person in front of your face when you're fucking flicking through people, and you constantly comparing people and all of that shit. But again, I don't think that it's everybody, and I think that is you can't go into these things thinking like, oh, these women just want to fucking like cause a problem. I mean, that's not.
It's not about solving a problem. It's just like again, like it's all about again, people want to be with somebody who they can the best option, and
right.
That's where the whole hypergamy aspect comes into play.
Right, and there are women out there who are going to think that you're attractive. Yes, everybody. There are fucking what is it like 8 billion people on the planet. There is some woman out there that you will find attractive that will find you attractive. I'm confident in that. Like fucking, and you're not fucking. You don't have a deformity in the face. You don't have fucking like you're not a burn victim. Like you're fucking overall like you fucking you look like a fucking normal person. You don't look like a person who is like fucking dying or whatever. So, and you're not emaciated. You're not completely fat. Like fucking, you just look like a person. So I think a lot of this, I've got all these things going against me. I think a lot of it is, mental. It's
Again,
not.
I'm not trying to base on myself. You have to keep it. We have to understand what we're talking about right now. We gotta stop like this is a Zubair issue, whatever. You know what I mean? I'm talking about in just terms of it general for people, in terms of people in general. We gotta
Okay.
keep because I
But
feel like
those people, I think most of the time don't have this as like a fucking like as this is their issue. I don't think the majority of people aren't with somebody because they're ugly. I think the majority of people that are alone for plenty of reasons, but I think the majority of the time it's not because they're ugly. I think that being ugly, it's not like it's not like the number, it's not like the bottom of the list, but it's definitely, I wouldn't say it's at the top of the list. Like being ugly is like in the middle somewhere. I mean, fuck it.
again, why like ugly? Again, it's not the end of the world for if someone's conventionally unattractive, but just they have to compensate. They have to compensate. Like they have to work so hard to be rich. They have to work so hard to like have certain like status. That way they can get a chance with girls, and that's not fair. You know what I mean? That's not fair for people. Um, Again, I'm going to talk like well, I also want to talk about like, in terms of modern dating. Like this is also like plays a big role of like, and I call these like three big issues like what you'll deal with in terms of trying to meet with a girl.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least trying to score with a girl. One, obviously, you're not viewed as attractive by the girl. She doesn't find you conventionally attractive. Okay, that's
Okay.
good. It doesn't happen, right? Two or three. Where you're going?
No, I'm right here.
Okay. The other two issues that will play a big role in terms of modern dating when you try to meet with a girl or you talk to her or you get to know her. This is the other two that will happen. All right, and this is also from I would say even my experience. You're gonna the girls, their friends are the biggest cock blockers. Okay, women if let's say this, maybe the girl does actually find you cute or like you're actually someone attractive dude, right? Like, and I think this is like what you don't seem to understand, Emery. Like maybe I do come off as nice and or maybe women like actually do like me, or
Right.
even other men, but unfortunately you have those women or like it could be even be a guy, it could be a gay best friend, whatever. You have other men or other people that will actually cop block the friend because again, it all goes back to association. If that person's friend does not like you, that will influence the girl's opinion and their mind because again, it's all about want to like fit in a certain way or association that will influence her brain or at least the girl will actually like nah I don't know you better not no she's taken no she's actually my friend or she's I'm her girlfriend you have like literally their best friend they'll say oh she's actually my girlfriend and they'll like or she doesn't want to talk right now or actually she has a boyfriend she's talking to somebody and it's like they'll get in the way. You know what I mean? They'll get in the way to stop like you from kind of scoring with a chick, and that will influence even the girl's opinion because like oh girl you should not be talking because you have women that rather share a boyfriend like that does happen. They rather share a boyfriend than to have one of their friends date an ugly guy. It does happen. Okay, it's a sad reality we live in. And the last thing is maybe you do get make a girl like give her butterflies and you make her like feel special and you have a good convo because I have conversation with girls. I know other people have great conversation with girls. They can talk to girls for 2 or 3 hours and they get to know her. But guess what happened? Immediately the girl could get turned off because they find someone else. It's always about them finding somebody different. Oh, they found somebody else who's like better. Like again, you may impress them. That may lead to like we'll agree to go on a date or me in the future give you Instagram, give them social media number. But then after thinking about it, or maybe they showcase to their friends, which again is all part of the cock blocking scene. Like they'll show, oh, I met a guy, and I thought he was nice and whatever. But then like, oh, who's that girl? Who is that guy you showed off or who you met? And they show the guy, like that would influence their minds. Like, girl, he's kind of ugly, like it's like that will happen, right? But again, the last issue is they found somebody else. Like maybe like eventually the next day, or even like maybe right after you meet up with that girl, they found somebody else. They found somebody else who they think is attractive and better looking, or and they got everything. They're a nice person. They're cool. They got everything else that you don't sadly have. They found somebody who's better, and that will sadly decrease your chances of meeting a nice girl too, or even just in general. That's going to be the issue.
I mean, it definitely, yeah, people try to date up. That happens sometimes,
Yeah.
but again, I think that you know, you gotta find the right. You gotta be looking in the right area. Try to find somebody that has similar values. Try to fucking, and that's where you build it off of. I think that you know, people that try to date up are usually part of a certain scene, and you just kind of stay out of that scene usually, and it kind of helps. I mean,
The sad reality is though, like what I learned is like even when you want to meet somebody with similar interests and values, like for example, like you meet a girl, she's conservative and you're conservative, you have the same political beliefs and same interests, but then unfortunately, again, it's all about dating up. They'll rather date with somebody who's like either like they have a better attraction towards. That sadly happens, people. It sucks. You know what I mean? And it's upsetting. You want to. That's what makes like obviously like the whole idea of finding your significant other important, because you want to meet someone who is your bread and butter, who is somebody else, like who is again the female version of you or whatever, that other person. And it just sucks that when you think you found that person you can have in common with, and you might you want to be with that person, even maybe we got with them, once they find a better option, forget that. That's what leads to like unfortunately, you'll and eventually you won't be able to have a long lasting relationship because they want to date up, and that's unfortunate. I do see that more so option. Like again, this is my problem also when you're dating. Like again, it's not just looks, and status and money, whatever. I do think people are more so superficial now. I do think women, yeah, they are more superficial now. Does not mean hating on women. I love women. I respect women. Again, going back to like all about like, and I have female friends, uh, unfortunately, when it comes to like certain female friends, like if they found out that I liked them, and I will say like this, I'm gonna get into in the in terms of my story. Whenever a girl like I somewhat had feelings for, or at least like it was intrigued of, they sadly would distance themselves from me because it does make it awkward. It's somebody you're friends with, and there's somehow like they like you found that they like you, that does unfortunately change the dynamic, the friendship. That's why they more so, or even sometimes they're like that, like would cut them off from you, because that has happened before, unfortunately, where a girl will find out I like them, they don't want to talk to me anymore just for having a crush on them. Sadly happened to me a bunch of times.
I mean, it can happen for sure. I mean, if you have feelings for somebody and you're like a good friend of theirs, I mean, it can make things awkward. But that's usually, I mean, I don't know. I don't normally have that issue, not because I am never friends with girls, but if I'm friends with girls, they're usually like my friends' girlfriends or like my friends' wives. They're around because my friend's around and I'm associating with you and I like you and you're fine, but it's like it's not like I'm going out of my way to fucking. Most of the time, my friends are men. It can be a good thing to have friends that are girls because they have friends that are girls and you can meet up with them and then you can fucking try to fucking like date all of them and you can try to have like a certain like thing going there and like and maybe you find a girl out there who's just a really good BFF and you're really close or whatever, but that's just not really ever been the thing for me. I'm a really masculine guy. Whenever I'm out trying to hang out with people, I usually just want to grill some fucking fried rhinoceros toe and fucking just eat all that shit and fucking hang out with the bros, fucking crush some fucking monster cans against your head, fucking, cut the end of your dick off with the monster can after you step on it and you fucking like you break it and you get like the hard metal, you can circumcise yourself with it. That's the kind of things I like to do. I think that a lot of the time though, yeah, I mean, if you're fucking hanging out with some chick and you got feelings for her and she doesn't feel that way about it and you bring it up, I mean, like, yeah, it's gonna make shit awkward. I mean, you can't really expect anything else. That's just kind of the natural order of things. If you were hanging out with some chick and you just saw her as like your BFF and she came to you and was like, I have these feelings for you and all of that, it always, every single time makes things awkward. whether
Yeah.
you're gay, whether you're straight, whether you're fucking whatever. Like if it's not fucking like if it's not mutual, it usually makes things awkward, and it just kind of is how it is. That's just that right there. There's nothing more natural than that. Like that's just literally the natural order
It
of
just
things.
didn't help, like in all the time, like people said, like, and I even like this is like a mutual friend of ours. It's like, oh, get to know the person, like whatever. But like, then what if it doesn't work in the end? Obviously, it's good to have friends, right? But at the end of the day, like I see it like now, like I'm at the stage of my life, like we have to be real because when you put so much time, like being a friend, then you eventually will get friend zoned. That's why maybe like it's probably part of if you're in that kind of life that maybe it's best to not waste time to actually like like be real. Like I think like that's also like what I know in life. Unfortunately, we live in a world where like it was a belief. I'm not sure if it still is now that like if we like a girl, we have to be friends with them first. Obviously, we should always be friendly with a girl. We should get to know the girl. But like to say like, oh, we have to go like the whole stages of friendship and then relationship. Like that doesn't always happen, in life. Like the whole idea of like being friends with a girl and then she eventually becomes your girlfriend. That doesn't always happen. Like I mean, maybe that's what again the whole idea when it comes to like movies and TV, like we're influenced with that idea. And I think that's also like what plays a big role in again with people thinking of like how love should be is because of friendships and like because of movies and TV shows. And then we learn it's not really the case at times. But unfortunately, people like they have that fucking stupid mentality to think like, for example, you have people that fucking relate to shows like Euphoria, and like that's like okay, if you like that shit, then you're probably crazy. But unfortunately, it seems a lot of people are because Euphoria is like one of the top fucking shows in the world, and people look up to that fucking show.
I don't know if people look up to it as much as they think it's crazy or they think it's a good story or they fucking again people like things for all sorts of reasons. Like we were talking earlier about like the whatever people like how they blow up a lot of the time. I mean, a lot of the time they blow up because people like me watch it because we like to laugh at shit that's retarded. You know what I mean? Like so like at the end of the day, like stupid shit's gonna blow up. Dumb things are gonna be popular and in the mainstream. People are gonna have dumb ideas. That's how it's been from the beginning of time. But you keep your head up and you work forward and you keep moving and you'll find somebody. You find somebody and you settle down with them and you fucking start homesteading and you build yourself a nice bomb shelter out in the middle of fucking Wyoming. Like that's just how it goes. Like fucking it just you just fucking again like you just fucking work at it and you get results. It's like anything else. It's like working out. It's like fucking you know you just it's a muscle and you have to flex it for a while, but once you flex it more and more and more, you get better at it and you master it. It's like karate. You get your white belt and you get your blue
Okay,
belt.
I want to talk about that. Like the higher, you're saying that dating is like a skill and whatever, and you're there, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Like that's the problem I think with dating, and not like dating should not be a skill. It's not supposed to be a skill. You know what I mean? It's
Well,
not
why
supposed.
not?
What?
Why not? Like what's wrong with it being a competition? Because at the end of the day, that's all it's ever been.
It is a competition, yeah, but it shouldn't have. That's how life is not supposed to be. It's
But
not
why
supposed to.
not?
What do you
That's
mean?
just naturally what we do. Like you even said earlier, like that you wouldn't see yourself dating a fat girl. How come that fat girl has to fucking compete with other women who are better looking than her to fucking get your attention? You know
I
what I mean?
agree. I
That's
agree with you.
naturally what we do as animals.
I understand. But like the thing is like it should be natural, right? But it seems like a lot of the cases now it's less natural for people to meet in a mutual setting or people like unless you're fucking conventionally attractive. Like if you're unconventionally attractive, it's gonna be so hard for you. Where unfortunately it kind of have to be a skill and you have to learn certain shit. But then you eventually like lose in the end. You know what I mean? Because like it's not you're gonna still fucking fail a bunch of times.
I mean, yeah, like I said, you fail a lot and then you get better at it. It's literally like anything else. Like everything on earth that you've ever wanted to do or get good at or anything that's ever actually mattered is going to take a little practice and getting used to it and fucking working towards it. Like everything that has ever been worth anything takes work. and this is part of it. I mean, fucking, even back in the fucking day, this was a thing. Like, fucking, people talk about how great it was to date people in the 50s. I mean, there were ugly people, there were attractive people, and you got to compete. And that's the part of the fucking thing. It's always been a game of competition. That's
But
what I've.
again, back in the day, you still, those people, they had like less competition than that's career
That's
now.
true. I mean, yeah, you
It's
had less competition, but at the same time, the fact of the matter is, you now also have the opportunity to have more prospects. You know what I mean?
mm, okay. Yeah, that's something we could. But again, I as in terms of natural, like it should be natural, less about like you have to because it's like it's again it leads to more fucking games like women playing games, men playing games. Again, I'm not a fan of the idea like when I'm not trying to make sure like oh hating on women. Again, I like I said, not trying like I'm trying to talk about the both issues on both men and women. I think like it's fucking just as shitty for men to play games because unfortunately that leads to now women playing games to themselves to men, less like response like or like you have people like they're like less responsive to each other when you like maybe slide in the DMs or whatever when you if you get a girl's Insta or whatever like you pay less attention to each other when you seem like you want to try to get to know a person like they're intentionally like not want to message back or whatever. It's like it's fucking like it's stupid games. You know what I mean? That's something again modern thing I hate. It's like again playing games with each other, just not really being like if you meet somebody you're not actually like fucking like but it's not it's like you guys are half-assing it. It's not great, or you guys are just not showing as much as care as it should be. Life is not supposed to be out like a numbers game and stuff. And I also think that's like to me like sure it'd be great to maybe you can get a bunch of girls or whatever or a bunch of guys if you're a girl whatever. But like at the end of the day, the goal should be you should at least try to find one nice person in your life and be that'll be your end all be all. Like
Yeah, I agree with that. Ultimately, I think that people should practice monogamy. They should stick with one person, and they should get
yeah,
that person and have a child. I
it
think
just
that
seems
the ultimate goal of a relationship is that you should settle down with somebody, start a family, and have a whole fucking
yeah.
boatload of kids and worship the Lord together. That should be the goal right there. But a lot of the time, it's not for people, and that's a big problem. I think people date. I think that one of the biggest issues with modern dating is that people don't date with intention as much anymore. They just kind of
Yeah.
like, I'm just gonna try to feel the waters out, see what's going on, see what's happening out there, and then they just don't stick to anything, and they end up going on first date after first date after first date, never really actually settling down with somebody, and it just kind of creates like a big issue. And again, like you had said before, I mean, a lot of that has to do with social media and the modern world and like all of that shit, and I get that, but it's no reason to fucking cower down and fucking stick your tail between your legs and stop. There's nothing that can stop you. There's nothing that'll ever fucking stop you. That's the only mentality you can have. Like, fuck
Yeah.
this fucking, like, being upset about it. Because it's like, at the end of the day, if you fucking sit around being upset about, like, the way that the modern world is or the way that the modern dating or whatever is, like, fucking, you're never gonna get anywhere. And you gotta just fight it, man. It's just fighting back against the fucking system. It's all you can do. It's all anybody's ever been able to do. Fuck it, man. Like,
There was yeah. There
yeah.
was one girl who went viral. Like she like apparently like record every time she goes on a date with somebody or whatever. She recorded herself like, very nice guy, great dinner, whatever, but like I just don't feel the vibe. Like, it's like you said the guy who's good looking, nice, and what this is also where again, like I understand I've been saying about like conventional, like what I'm trying to say when in terms of conventional and attractive guys, it's just they never really win in a date or they never even can get past trying to say hi to a girl, because sometimes it just doesn't go well. Okay, but what I'm trying to say, the sad thing is, even if a guy is conventionally attractive, it's like it just sucks for a lot of men now too, because even if you are attractive, you have women that like will have high some fucking standards and like it's like they want to fucking go like don't get tired easily and they want to we should see other people or this date really didn't go well as I thought it should be, and it's like yeah she went viral for like oh nice guy nice dinner nice I liked him but like I just didn't really feel it. It's like what the fuck. You know what I mean? You have shit like that goes on, and that's what's like kind of pisses me off. And I remember that because like there's like this funny black guy who fucking does like I don't even you probably know him. It's like some Nigerian African guy who makes like these funny videos like reacting like to like modern issues or whatever. But it's like obviously in him like this woman says she's nice, he's nice, and he doesn't want the data. That's like, a chicken running out around the town without finding his feet. I don't know. I'm trying to fuck it. This guy's funny. I'll even try to find him, but like again, like he made a video about that, and it's like, yeah, oh, he's like the Delulu man. Like it's all Delulu. I don't know if you know
I
that
don't
guy.
know, man. I don't watch a whole lot of Nigerian YouTube anymore.
But he's funny. He's all about what is this Delulu man? What is this Delulu? This is all Delulu. Like we might as well get married to a chicken nugget. Which I mean, like fuck, you might as well. Fuck. But again, like stuff like that. You have fucking again, women are divorcing the men now, or there's more divorces. Again, we are living in a world where divorces are on a fucking high rate now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
You can't like, and again, I am tired. Like again, the whole idea of like, oh, having sex with again high body counts is fucking crazy. I'm sorry, yeah, no, for any, but I don't like that how people praise men and shit like that. Like I will say that's something I will like. Okay, we shame women for high body counts. But again, we kind of should. But at the end of the day, why aren't we shaming men for high body counts? You know what I mean? Because to me, like, it's like they can't commit. Again, look at Leonardo DiCaprio, unwilling to fucking settle for one girl. So,
You probably shouldn't be walking around pointing your finger at people and saying shame on you. I think that that's probably a bad approach a lot of the time. But at the end of the day, we shouldn't be out there making it out like it's a good thing either. Like it shouldn't be like, hell yeah, have a high body count for anybody. I mean, it's not good to be sleeping around. It's unhealthy for you. It's unhealthy for the other person. It's just like it's a negative thing altogether, and we shouldn't be promoting it. You don't make movies, or I mean, I guess you do. I was about to say you don't make movies supporting cigarettes, but I mean, people look pretty fucking badass in the movies when they're fucking smoking a cigarette. So I can't say that, it is what it is. Again, who the fuck am I to comment on the culture? I'm just here to help a boy out. But fucking as far as the modern dating goes, yeah, it can be frustrating, but it's all worth it in the end, because in the end, Zubair is gonna have a nice arranged marriage with a beautiful Pakistani woman, and they're gonna have fucking 10 children together, and they're all gonna be named Muhammad. I keep upping the fucking number.
Even if fucking, but the thing, that's something we should talk about arranged marriage. But what I learned about arranged marriages, again, it's up to the girl, like to like if she want, and
if both parties involved are like, yes, I want my parents to give me an arranged marriage, like I want that, then like fine, you should be allowed to do that. But I think that you should have a say in whether you have an arranged marriage or not. That's your whole fucking lot. That's you know what I mean?
But again, that's where like the looks will go to play too. Like you're not any fucking Pakistani or any fucking brown guy can just get a girl, like just to say arranged marriage, because again, there's gonna be the whole contract. And again, we are living in a world too where again, even in those countries, women are being more liberated too, where like, and also here's the thing, and this is where like arranged marriage doesn't always help. Like sure, they'll be more disciplined in those countries, but at the end of the day, but then like if you bring them to America, then like when they, and again, I'm not saying like we should like fucking stop like control women, no. But then you have like these women, like they discovered like they have all these opportunities or whatever that'll lead them to like being like liberated, where like, why should I settle for this guy when I could probably just go out and meet all these different guys who in America, you know what I mean?
Right.
So that's where the problem comes in. And I remember talking about this with my barber. Like you have people in like in their countries, like they're more so like he's Russian, by the way. Russian barber, Russian who speaks Latino, is also great barber. He's been my barber since I was born. He's practically family at this point. Very nice guy. And me and him been lately talking about like stuff like this, because like, and I will say this is from my personal experience, like I have family members, like my family is not as close as we used to be anymore. And part of that is like, fortunately, infidelity. Okay. Or not infidelity. Is that what infidelity?
That's the word.
Yeah, infidelity. Yeah, I was about the infidelity. No, infidelity, where you have people not being as loyal as they used to anymore, and fucking doing stupid shit like that. For people say like arranged marriage is the answer, not necessarily true, especially in the world now. It's not always be the case, because then you have people like they want to freaking, again, feminism plays a big role. And again, I'm not saying that women should not work or whatever. But again, feminism does give a bad message where women, they think like, I don't need no men in my life and type of shit. So it's like, yeah. But again, that's basically more so of like what I think of modern dating. I do think modern dating is not as good as it used to be because, or just dating in general, it's more so harder now because again, like people judge people by certain things, looks. People have high standards, sex culture, like sex. People are more promiscuous, hypergamous. Feminism does play a big role, unfortunately. Hype, again, like social media plays obviously a big role, social engineering, like, what's that considered acceptable or whatever, association. And I will say also part of a big issue now, I would say, is the whole idea of like accusations. Like we like look at the Me Too movement that has happened. The Me Too movement really fucked up a lot of shit where people make it seem like men are creeps and whatever. It makes it, again, I do feel like it's such a hard time to be a man. Like,
I
I'm
feel
not saying
like
I'm proud to be a
Me
man.
Too movement, I don't know if that fucked with the average man whatsoever. You could argue that fucked up things for potential like famous people and stuff like that. But like, I feel like the majority of the time, man, you're probably not going to be Me Too'd if you're not actually doing some weird shit. Like
But like,
some people have been falsely accused, and I
yeah, false
understand
accused.
that's true, and I've seen evidence of that. And I feel very bad for those men. That's such a horrible fucking thing that happens. And I think if you falsely accuse somebody of a crime, you should be given the same punishment that they would have been given if they were fucking convicted of that crime. I think that's only fair. But at the same time, I think someone like you or me, we're fucking very unlikely to be Me Too'd. I think that,
Okay, we're not talking about me personally. We're talking about in general. But again,
I know I meant like us. I'm saying people like our level. It's not really a thing that we have to worry
I mean,
about.
how you know? Like, I never was like false. I mean, I'm not saying I have, but
Oh,
how you
me
know?
neither. I haven't been falsely accused. What I'm saying is it's just like with our level, like where we're at, that's not as much of an issue for us. That's more of an issue for guys that have like a lot of status, like you were saying earlier.
I disagree because I have seen shit in my college where like people been falsely accused of shit like that.
Well, damn.
So, like I talked, I remember one of my buddies who was a wrestling team member, and he mentioned how one of his buddies, he was like gonna be like a doctor or whatever, and he almost like one false accusation almost ruined his career. So it does happen.
Well, fuck. Best to know who you're fucking. That's my advice.
Yeah,
Better.
but even like some
Know
cases, like even a random guy, like I did not even know this guy, but like he got accused of harassment just for talking to girls.
I mean, well, I would need to see that. I'm gonna be honest with you. That's one where it's like I don't know. Like if he
That was
gets
like a few years ago, though. So, but
okay.
you can't even
Well,
find
yeah,
it.
I would need to speak to that man personally and find out more about that story.
I do think, like again, like if you're unattractive, that's gonna most likely like be the case. But again, recently there's been an issue, famous like again, I'm a fan of him. I'm not saying like like what he's been again. I'm not a fan of dating coaches again because again it's all a fucking they're just trying to sell a program at the end of the day. But I was a fan of him. He was not like he didn't start off as like a dating coach, but he was like again a pickup artist type of funny video type of dude. So like he was like one of those guys that upload a video where he like picking up girls or whatever. Obviously it was like for video. Unfortunately, he got recently he got accused of sexual like assault or whatever. His name is Jack Denmo. And
okay.
well, again, and it sucks. Like I do think like shit like that, it's unfair. Like you have men that are getting accused of shit, of something they didn't do, or that it'll be like some like whatever a woman can say is gonna mess up some shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's all about power. It's fucking bullshit. Um, but again, one of my main issues I do think part of the reason why a lot of men are killing, again, this is why I think it's a sad reality of the world. A lot of men are killing themselves. We are living in a world where men are there's a high rate of suicide rates going on, and it's because of men. Men are committing suicide, and part of it is because they're not able to find the right person. They're not able to find anybody. I do
The
think
reason
because
they're committing suicide is because they are not fucking living for their purpose, man. That's why people kill themselves. They live in despair because they don't do what they're supposed to be doing. If you kill yourself, if you commit suicide, that's because you walked down a wrong path.
okay,
Right?
besides that, but we're talking about online, like about dating in general. Like, I
Yeah,
do
I
feel
get
like
that.
part
But
of
what
it.
I'm saying is, it's like if you kill yourself because you're lonely, right? If you kill yourself because girls don't love you, you need to fucking find something else to live for. That's not dating, that's not women, that's not finding a wife. Because at the end of the day, like, if you're so fucking ugly and an incel to the point that no woman ever wants to be with you ever, and that you just feel like you can't fucking, then find another reason to live. Because that right there is just not fucking good.
I mean, you could find just a reason, but like, let's say one of your goals is to get married, to have children, and find the love of your life, but in your success, like for example, I read a sad story years ago. He was an Asian guy, and he was like apparently like a food critic. He loved to eat, travel the world, but one of the things that he struggled with was dating. Like he could never find a girl to want to date him, and he was never like viewed as an attractive guy to women. That's why he like, was ever like never really gotten to be able to date somebody. And he sadly killed himself because he just couldn't take the idea that like, man, I have all these other things in my life, but I never had like a wife, or no girl ever liked me for me. That's the shit. Like I feel so bad. That's why like you can't just say like, oh, a girl, find other hobbies. Like we have other hobbies. It's just the thing is like, what's gonna happen in a day? Like when with your legacy, right? Like, okay, you find something else to do, and to not focus on women. Okay, what if that date like never comes? You never find a mutual like women like in that setting, and then you end up being 80 years old, and you can't even, you haven't ever had a wife, a girlfriend. Like that.
Some people just aren't fucking meant for it. Like that's just like, that's a hard reality to understand, but not everybody on the face of the planet is gonna fall in love and get married and have children and do, like, there are a lot of people that are gonna die alone, and it's fucking sad and it's not good all the time. But at the end of the day, if you end up in a position where you're alone, you got to find a way to be content with that.
I understand. I agree.
Like,
but it's not fair, And that's
not fair, but nothing is.
Yeah, life is not fair. You're
like it's not
right.
fair that I'm not going to be part of the group of people that go to Mars. You know how badass that'd be? I'd want to fucking check out Mars and see what that's like. That's not fair. I don't get.
But that's why we're having this conversation. That's why it's important to talk about this, and it's something to be mentioned. And that's why I'm happy to do this show with to talk about that. Okay, I think we talked about like my issues, my romance. I'm gonna talk a little bit. I know we kind of did longer. We did a long show, Emery, and I'm sorry about that. But I think this is great for our first episode. We're gonna do more episodes in the future, but we're gonna try to do them short, at least an hour, or at least try to do 30 minutes. But again, those are gonna be most of our topics. This is really just an intro episode, and we're gonna just talk about it's just our premise. Anything you want to talk about before I talk about, I guess, in terms of my stance?
No, go ahead.
Okay, so my experience. Again, we have been mentioning in terms of my experience. I know I'm opening myself where I might be ridiculed and made fun of on this YouTube channel, because we do, again, most of my videos are about wrestling, shit like that, and even I have been commenting like, you probably can't get girls or whatever. Let's just say I have done more so with women that a lot of incels have not. Okay, let's just say that. But I had more experience like fucking talking to women, women talking to me, and freaking, in whatever. We're not gonna get to that because I that's my private shit. But we're gonna try to open up. All right.
Okay.
From the beginning to time, I watching movies, TV shows, it's been endorsed the idea that love is great. And I do agree. Love is fucking great. Who the fuck doesn't want to be in love? Okay. Or be with somebody you love. Love is a wonderful thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's been one of my goals in life. Unfortunately, that has been one of my greatest failures. In the age of 25, I've sadly never got the chance to really have an actual girlfriend in my life, or never really had a chance to really be loved, because one, I have been sadly not viewed as attractive enough, conventionally attractive, or I was never good enough, or I was never the best option. When I was in school, I let's again keep in mind, like when I was in like early day, I remember I had my first crush in elementary school. Keep in mind, I was the brown guy. A lot of people were like white or Latino, whatever. I was the brown guy, and let's be honest here. In around my time, and I'm not trying to talk about white privilege or whatever. I'm gonna say this: white privilege only exists in one thing, and that's dating motherfuckers. Okay, let's be honest. But again, that's besides the point. And pretty privilege does play a big role. As a brown guy, I was not viewed as very cool. Okay, and keep in mind I was also Muslim. We were coming off 9/11. Okay, we understand 9/11 played a big role in my life and a lot of other Muslims or brown people's lives because, again, they were never viewed as cool enough, good enough, and we were ridiculed because, again, all terrorism tasks will be called terrorists or whatever. I was a young kid that never was going to be viewed as attractive or cool because of shit like that. Okay, I liked certain types of girls. Again, I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm attracted to white girls. Okay, I mean, not saying that I never showed interest to other races too, even my own race. But the thing is, even my own race did not like the girls who I thought were cute for in my own race never wanted to date me. Even I remember like recently when I tried to talk to a girl like my race, I was at the bank, right? I opened the door for her. Like it was like after hours to put in our like take out money or put in money. It was like one of those things. But I opened the door for her, like okay, and then we were walking, right? Got to know her a little bit. She was nice. I'm not saying like I'm old. I'm not old. Okay, no one's old. Whatever. Okay, no one's old for sex or whatever. And I want to make that perfectly clear. No one owes you anything, but it doesn't mean. Okay, no one's owe you anything. Okay, no one owes you shit. For whatever. But it doesn't mean like it's not fair. Obviously, if you're like eventually unattracted, it's just not fair. You're not gonna get as
Right.
opportunities. But again, listen. What I'm trying to say is like I have put in effort. For me, so like not just to grow out of your own race. I've tried, but unfortunately, they were never interested. Okay, what you want me to do? Um, again, but we're going back to like again when I was younger. When I was younger and wanted to be with girls and showed interest to girls, it just like those girls, even that were like associated with me, we were acquaintances, friends. When they found out I liked them, they never liked me. They stopped being my friend, or they never wanted to do anything with me. Okay, like, and part of it was sadly because of my looks, because of I was not the tallest guy in the room. I remember when I was younger, I was like one of the shortest guys in the class. Like when they had those size order thing, I was one of the short guys in the front row. In the front. Okay, it plays a role. Again, we're taught in a young age that height is the best thing. Okay, and there's like even like a psychological thing where like I remember ABC, and that's something what got me to know about this whole dating shit. Like ABC did a documentary about this where height does play a big role. Like, and like we're taught that in our young age that height is a great thing. You know, and that's why unfortunately like it influenced my idea. Like sadly height does help. Like does matter. And I'm not trying to say like height is the end all be all. But unfortunately, it does play a role because again, it's all about the genetic quality. It's about evolution. It's about finding the strongest seed to mate with. It's very important. That's why it plays a role. But unfortunately, with a guy like myself who was brown and was not is not tall. Like I'm not gonna lie, you guys, I'm not 6 foot. Like I thankfully, the funny thing is about karma is a bitch. I'm end up being taller than some people who used to make fun of me. I will say that. That's the karma. But at the end of the day, it doesn't help. Like they still, but they still probably get girls because like they're like again different race or whatever. But whatever, that's beside the point. But again, yes. Up until let's say college, I always wanted to focus on one girl. I wanted because again, you should always focus on one girl to want to be with. I've always focused on one girl, wanted to be with them. Well, unfortunately, they never showed the same interest, or they liked other people. Whatever. I will confidently say that I fell in love with two girls, wanted to be with them, and they're Jewish girls. But unfortunately, one of them got married. The other one is going to get married, sadly. I can't do nothing with that. And I have not honestly been the same since finding out that because I've been kind of having hope, or whatever, at least to reunite with that person, or whatever. It really fucked me up mentally where I feel like, man, I don't even have a purpose anymore. Now I could just really like, it's going to be an all be all. I have to find someone else. It's not going to be easy, but whatever. But again, when towards like other years of college, like because I went to a 2-year community college and I met those two beautiful women that I would love to gladly marry. I went to a 4-year college, transferred, and that's when I started really doing cold approaches. Starting to actually like, what? Yeah, sure, it will sadly become a skill. It shouldn't have to be, but I have to put myself out there. That's when I started actually doing cold approaching. I watched YouTube, learn, how to actually try to talk to girls and whatever. It has helped me gave me some confidence. Obviously, my first few approaches, cold approaching girls. And again, it would be great that if I had a camera guy, I would gladly do these cold approach videos for YouTube. It would be fucking cool as fuck. You can even bond about that on Modern Romance. But I don't have a camera guy. I just rely to be authentic me, just, cold approaching girls, just, to make friendships and hopefully find someone to be with. So it's not like I haven't tried, folks. I have tried. Okay? I've talked, again, met some girls, whatever, but unfortunately doesn't end up being like, because some of them, like right after I meet them and I'll have like 2-hour long conversations with them or whatever, some of them, they'll follow me. Some of them will eventually unfollow me on Instagram, or they'll fucking block me just for talking, like, after, because again, it's all about traction, folks, or just like, doesn't really, they found somebody else, or it's just not, they don't really think it's a good vibe, whatever, I can't control. I have put the effort to try to, and I will say this is something I will blame COVID. It feel like maybe if COVID didn't happen, I would have probably found a girlfriend in college, because I was talking to a few girls. There was one girl, like for once, a girl in my class in college that I was kind of attracted to, or I was attracted to her. We were like fucking like doing homework together, we were gonna get some call again. We were there. I actually think I have gotten coffee with girls. No, so I have gotten coffee with girls. So don't think I haven't gotten coffee with girls. It just was like in a friendship way. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. It just, unfortunately, if it comes like, let's if I would, officially go on a date or whatever, never come to fruition, those types of situations. I remember I was supposed to have my first actual date when I was 22, like back in 2021. She fucking bailed on me. Okay. That sucked. Supposed to be my first ever date. Bailed on me, even though we talked for a few hours. And again, I can't talk to girls. For you guys who probably don't know, I could. Okay. It just, again, like I don't know what happened to lead to that first date to not coming to fruition. Maybe like she started to regret, like, I'm going out with some like this guy, or maybe again, like I said, the 3 biggest issues that can happen to affect you. She just really didn't like you, whatever. Man, I don't know, but she seemed like, again, she messaged me a few hours later that day. I hope you had a good workout, because I told her I was going to the gym. She probably showcased her friends, me. And then like her friends put her down, like, why the fuck would you want to go out with this guy? And blah, blah, blah. And maybe they found somebody different, and hey, karma's a bitch. Now she's fucking pregnant and whatever. Oh yeah, she is pregnant. I mean, not that like, I'm not happy for her. Like, I mean, it would have been nice to like, I thought she was cute, but again, like she found a different guy. Like she's getting married to that guy. So it's like, okay. Right.
There's a bitch, now she's pregnant or whatever. That's fucking funny. But yeah, no, I don't know.
But I'm not done yet though. But,
okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, but yeah, it's like things like that has happened, folks. And again, going back to COVID, I do think like if COVID didn't happen, I would have probably talked to more girls, and eventually I would have probably gone on a date. Or with eventually, with girls. I was talking to girls and whatever, good. It was fun, I feel like though, unfortunately, after COVID, and this has made it worse to like, I think even in general now, COVID did change the world where people are less social. So, and definitely when I went back to college, when classes went back to being in person, you can notice a shift. When I was going to college around that time, people are so less social. Obviously, masks did not help, and I fucking hate every time I had a chance to not wear the mask. I fucking took that chance. Okay, even there was like again, it's all fucking bullshit. This whole fucking mask shit. It doesn't protect you from the fucking virus at all. It just if anything, made you sick and made you actually get the virus more. It just fucking gave you a fucking sore throat for no fucking reason. But again, it's all fucking, this whole fucking COVID shit is like happily done. But it did change the world where people are like, less sociable and less like, they're more hesitant to try to, talk to anybody. That like, you got people still like, they'll fucking use COVID as an excuse, to not even talk to you or shake your hand. So, you know what I mean? But again, I do feel like changed the world. There were certain situations that happened, like where like, yeah, unfortunately it didn't end well in terms of like trying to talk to girls, whatever. But at the end of the day, like, I've tried, but the girls did not want to talk to me or whatever, didn't want to go out with me, whatever, And unfortunately, yeah, there you go. I mean, didn't mean that I didn't have crushes or whatever. I mean, I just what I did, like I stopped having that one girl itis, focusing on one girl and not really, because again, it's all about like how you said the numbers game type of shit, which I don't like. But again, like whatever you can get, who's willing to actually want to go out with you. That's what I was trying to do,
Life
trying
is
to
a numbers game.
yeah,
That's
but
how.
it's not fair. It's not right, but that's what I had to do. If I wanted, if I focus on one girl and she rejects me, I'm just like, fuck. I wasted my time instead of actually talk to other girls. To see who would be the best fit to try to talk to me and go out with. So that happened. Unfortunately, yeah. Didn't meet someone. Didn't meet anybody. I mean, made some friends with girls, sure. Keep in touch with some. But didn't mean that, I know in the end of the day, they didn't want to go out with me because if that was the case, they would have fucking been okay with it. Um, it just sucks. I mean, I met nice girls, yeah, but it's just like damn well, like I knew damn well, like they never really wanted to go out with me. It's okay. It's just
That's
how it is, you know. Obviously, like yeah, I know like my disadvantages, like was yeah part of it was again like I hate to say it, but yeah, part of being brown, like, and it does play a big role. I remember when I was like back in 2019, 2020, I was, and I will admit to this, I was falling, and Emery noticed, I was kind of falling into the realm of the whole incel mindset. All right. I'm not saying that, there's things to agree with. There are. It's just obviously when you have it, taken over you and start using terms like red pill, like, take the black pill or something, or, some stupid terms that like, that's where it gets bad. I'm not saying like this is not to target or take a shot at incels, because I will be sympathetic with those people, because again, for like guys like myself, and again like you know I'm not trying to say no, I'm incel whatever, but like at the end of the day, like there's no need to make fun of incels. Like you're fucking just like, when you make fun of people who are incel, it's like you're making fun of somebody, like you're making fun of somebody when they can't fight. Like it's like you're knocking them down even more. Like what's the point of them like trying to fight back? You're just keep pushing them down. It's like pushing down also somebody who's like, you're putting like, haha, you can't walk because you have no legs, like it's like why you're bullying these people. Like obviously some of these people need help or guidance, or just be cool to this. Like sometimes you can't help like with the situations you are, so
I mean, you shouldn't make fun of people for a lot of things, but like, I don't know, being an incel and not being able to walk are two very different things. Those are out
yeah,
of the,
I'm just using an example, yeah. But
but
I do
like,
think, like again, like not everyone can control. Like again, part of the reason why incels are incels, it's just like despite trying, they can't get their foot in the door, because yeah, they're gonna be viewed as unattractive by those girls. So
right. And it sucks for ugly people, but that's not you, and it is what it is. So
and
fuck
that's
it.
not me, because okay, because here's what I will say. Like, why I understand why insults, like whatever, I'll just say in general. I come to realize or learned, and I know Emery's gonna fucking say like this can't always be true. Like there's always gonna be someone. I get it, but like unfortunately, guys like myself who are brown, if you're Indian descent, which I'm not. Again, I'm not Indian. Don't read out to, but I fall under that because I'm half Pakistani after all. Unfortunately, brown men or Indians, they fall under the bottom of the totem pole of attraction, where they are the least attractive race. And given that I'm attracted to girls, more so white girls and
Who
whatever,
decided that?
so you don't think that's true?
That Indians are the least attractive race?
Yeah, it's actually true. Like Asians in general are like at least attractive, but even Asians are like a tier up compared to Indians. Like the Southeast Asian men are the least attractive race according to statistics.
I Listen, I mean that statistic might have been taken. I don't know, but that just seems like a crazy thing to be saying. That Southeastern Asian men are the least attractive people on earth. I don't know about that.
Now they are. Unfortunately, I have done. I mean, I've noticed firsthand. Like
Okay.
I've been called ugly by girls too and shit.
I
So
mean, shit. So have I. Fuck it.
I mean, but like, but it's like
I
I
had a girl
really have
threaten to
been
shoot
through
me
harsh
one time.
rejections. But like again, like but I do, but a lot of men, especially like Indians, are made fun of for being unattractive, and especially when you see like videos or seeing like people like who what they vote for, what is the least attractive race, they'll say Indians or brown men in general. Like they want to.
Indian women are pretty hot.
Listen, I'll be honest with you, Emery. You're more likely to get an Indian girl, like Indian woman. You'll
Great. Sounds good to me. Fuck it, man.
and the only
I like
reason
all
why.
kinds of ladies, though. It is what it is. I'm a fucking, I'm easy to get along with. I'm easy to please. It doesn't, fucking, like, at the end of the day, like, you ain't got to be some kind of supermodel for me to find you attractive. I mean, as long as you look like Bill Maher, things are going to be fucking fine.
And keep in mind, I'm not trying to like fucking look for a supermodel. If I think girls cute, and I want to, I wouldn't mind dating them. It's just a thing.
Would you date a midget? That's the real question, Zubair.
Why I date a midget? Like, what do you mean by? You mean like legit, like midget, like 3 foot?
Like
tall?
a person with dwarfism.
See, that's where I feel bad. Like, you see, I will say this as guys, like as us, from what I know, I will feel so bad. I will say this. What's her name? It's like she's like a famous, like there's like a famous show on TLC, and it's not like she has dwarfism, but she had like a condition. And Trap Queen even talked about this. Okay, you have a friend named Trap Queen. Shout out to her. She mentioned this like Shauna Ray. I think that's her name. Shauna Ray. Like the DLC show where like she's not dwarf, but she unfortunately has a condition in her brain that affected her pituitary gland from growing.
So she's like a kid forever?
Yeah.
Are you trying to say she's hot?
No.
What do you? What
I'm trying to see what happened. You don't know why? Okay, like. I feel bad for people like them because I'm not gonna
feel bad. Well, yeah, I mean, if you got some kind of disease, anybody who's got
but like I wouldn't really date them because of they do look like a child.
Well, yeah, you could. Yeah, no, fuck no, you could never do that.
But the sad thing is, bro, I actually saw her on Bumble one time.
That's crazy.
And she actually lives in New York, so that points out.
Damn, you should go for it.
No.
Date the baby woman.
No. But yeah, I think you missed that chat. But me and I told them because we were talking about Shauna Ray. Like I saw her on Bumble, and like I remember, I'm the type of guy I will feel bad swiping over a fucking girl I'm not attracted to, or especially
I mean, shit, that's what that thing's for.
Especially a girl like her. But you have people that'll swipe a person just without no care,
Yeah.
But like, man, when I swiped her, like, it's like, oh my, I'm so sorry. And I just like, oh no, you know what I mean? Like I saw her, like, oh boy, it's like I actually feel bad. Like whenever I see someone's like disabled, man, I swipe left. It's like I can't do. I'm so sorry. What I mean? But again, like we're trying to say, like, why do we mention that again? Why we were like,
I don't fucking know, man.
I don't know. Oh, okay. Going back to like brown men, yeah, like brown men, they're gonna be down to bond, and brown women, like they themselves wouldn't even date their own race. That's why you have that whole issue. Like you have people that are willing to date outside of race, especially brown women, and they'll date a white guy, and again, it's like this whole passport bro shit's going on in the world and whatever. Again, it's to escape that. Again, it's all about trying to look but at the same time, like they think like this is gonna help their race looking better, but then this is what's gonna lead to more people like being more incel and whatever. And not just that, like one of the reasons why guys like Elliot Rodger it was like not even getting girls because of his looks or whatever. But but like the thing is, yeah, shit like that is gonna create more Elliot Rodger looking motherfuckers where they're gonna struggle today. I'm not saying they're gonna create Elliot Rodgers where they're gonna kill people, but that's why like guys like Elliot Rodger couldn't get girls because he was fucking like again part of his fucking race. So if you're
Elliot Rodger
shit, it's gonna lead to like uglier children.
That was not his race. Did you see those videos that he fucking made? That dude was a weirdo from the fucking second that he dropped out his mom.
Yeah, he was weirdo. Yeah, but like apparently the reason why he didn't get girls because like his looks supposedly. So
I fucking no. There's no. He was a fine-looking guy. He had all the money in the fucking world. He absolutely should have been able to get with women, but the reason that he didn't was unable to get with women because he was autistic and weird. That was
I
why.
will agree with that. I will agree
He was
with
a
that.
fucking weirdo.
I will agree with that. But again, I'm using it as an example because his women was like his mother was like a different race. Again, when you have like this whole like east like this whole interracial again, I'm not saying it's a problem. Sure, yeah, get into. I mean, I'm looking to be with white girls, so that's interracial shit. But the thing is, I mean, well, again, I'm not putting my race aside. I'm not putting any other girls like black girls, other girls in general. Like again, I
Whatever.
like there's every. But what I'm trying to say is, for people again, you're gonna for people like women like Indian women or Southeast Asian women, they're looking to date outside of the Indian culture or whatever they see culture because they want to fucking get better children, like because it's all about the evolution, right? But then they don't realize that because they're gonna have that certain race, it's gonna affect them with how they look too and their height. If a woman's like fucking short, that's also the problem what people don't get with height. You're gonna affect your child's height if you're fucking 4 foot and you're gonna fucking marry a fucking like 6 foot. They're not gonna easily be 6 foot, by the way. They're gonna fucking be like at least maybe 5 something. They'll be taller than you, but they're not gonna be fucking 5. They're not gonna be 6 foot. It's all like again, it's all that fucking math shit. Okay, I'm not a fucking mathematician, but
I don't know what this is fucking becoming right now. I'm gonna be honest with you. What fucking time is it? What is this?
yeah, we've been talking for a while.
It is 12:40 p.m. I
AM.
need to go to bed. I have had a great time talking with you. This has been a fun time.
Yeah.
Next time, what we're talking about is your approach and working on that and fixing that and
We
making
should
that.
definitely do, yeah. We should definitely. I mean, we should definitely do other episodes, but we should definitely talk about like dating apps and other topics. But we'll do that.
Yeah, dating apps is part of that. Dating apps is part of the approach. So we're gonna fucking get you a perfect approach and get you everything. Yeah. We're gonna get your dating profiles set up to where they fucking are like bulletproof. I'm gonna fucking make your dating profiles bulletproof. We're gonna make all of your social media fucking tip top. Fucking 100% squeaky clean. You're gonna be a fucking ladies' man. I'm telling you this right now, and that's the fucking thing. Because the approach, I think, 99.9% of the problem for a lot of men, and probably you included, you might not even be realizing it, is that you're going about the approach the wrong way. I was going about the approach the wrong way for fucking years, and you know what? It's easy to fucking do. There's a lot of little things that you don't think about, but fucking. It's all advertising, it's all sales, it's all putting yourself out there, and that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna sell you. We're gonna sell you like you're a fucking slave on the black market, like you're a fucking little Epstein baby. Like we're gonna be selling you to fucking P Diddy. That's the fucking plan. So fucking.
Okay, before you leave, okay, I do want to end the show with you, but I'm gonna make it brief. Like about so we were talking about college. Wasn't able to find somebody. Yeah, cold approach. Up to graduation. What happened since then? I'm not gonna lie to you. It's hard. It's hard to meet somebody outside of school, especially when you're working and whatever. It's fucking hard. But I have done cold approaches on like public settings, like parks, whatever. And I have been going to nightclubs and bars, but more so bars lately or whatever. But unfortunately, even that, I mean, listen, I met some girls. Girls kissed me on the cheek. I even kissed girls on the lips. So I will say I have done better than incels, where I have met some girls, had long conversations. Girls are nice, but it doesn't mean that it's like guaranteed we're gonna get a date with them or whatever. Because again, they'll find somebody else or whatever. So that has happened. That is like my issue where like. I'll talk to girls. I can talk to girls, but unfortunately, girls don't like me. Whatever, enough to like really will go on a date or be boyfriend or girlfriend. It's just just how it is. But again, that's the gist of it. Like I have met girls, or it's just kind of hard. Definitely outside of college, it's hard to get to know a girl, whatever, or keep in touch with a girl when you're not gonna see them every day. And if they're really gonna want to see you every day, it's really gonna be if they really like you, whatever. But it is unfortunately a disadvantage if you're a brown guy. And like myself, but again, I've seen it happen. Unfortunately, brown men are dealing with this issue. It sucks. And I do think that we should definitely bring more awareness to that. But regardless, that's my issue. That's been
I mean, if we got to make you white, we'll make you fucking white. It is what it is. Fuck it. It doesn't fucking fuck this brown, fuck all this, man. we're gonna have this fixed by the end of next year. You're gonna be fucking even forgetting that you were even talking like this. It doesn't even fucking matter. Like this whole I can't get a girlfriend because of 9/11. That's not gonna be the
I'm
same.
not basing in my life like that's like what, but again, it has affected my youth, or it has affected like in terms of how I associate with people. Like I was just not again. You're not gonna if you're not viewed as cool enough. Again, it's part of the like again. That's how people don't get girls too. Again, if you're not a certain type of status, you're not gonna get like certain girls. You know, and I'm not saying like again like, that's done, but that was how it was when I was a child. If I liked a girl and I wanted to like get a girl like when I was in middle school, I mean, because there was like guys in middle school getting girlfriends, so you know what I mean.
Yeah, but that's middle school and that's fucking retarded. It's not real. But
I
fuck
mean, but yeah, but
anyway.
that's how I wanted to be, but whatever. But that's
I
that's
get
my
it. I
that's
get
how
what
my
you're saying.
experience.
Like, regardless, it's like middle school is fucking stupid. You shouldn't even remember shit like that. Like that kind of shit. That's fucking.
Yeah.
That's
Okay,
past.
but that's our backstory, ladies and gentlemen, and that's our stance on modern dating. We are obviously I don't like being the center of like, oh, this is going to be about. But I get it. It is going to be like a sort of coming of age type of story of
Yeah.
ourselves where
Don't
we
view
see
it
how we grow.
negatively. You're the fucking hero. You're the hero of the story here.
No, but we're both the main stars. We're both the fucking people. I mean, obviously, you're my fucking Drake to my Josh, or I'm the Josh. I don't fucking know.
I don't know what I
We're
am.
Drake and Josh.
I'm the Megan to your fucking Josh's dad.
Megan. Anyways, all right. I know you gotta go to bed, but we're gonna do shorter shows next time. But certain shows will be a little long. But like again, this is why this is fun. It's just fun to also talk, and this is something we want to talk. Obviously, the goal of modern dating to talk about our issues in life, and also just talk about topics and give our thoughts about it. But at the end of the day, we want to definitely not only give our thoughts, but we want to make the world better. And we also want to hopefully everyone deserves love. Okay, we all fucking love each other. I love Emery. He's my best pals. I want nothing but the best for him, and we want the best for everybody. We just hope the world will be a better place, one loving video at a time.
Yeah.
All right, we'll do other videos. We're gonna do another video. We'll probably talk about dating apps our next episode and whatever. But regardless, we're gonna do a bunch of talking about a lot of topics. This is definitely gonna be our first episode. Thank you guys for watching. We wish you all a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. This is gonna be debuting right around Christmas time, and then definitely hopefully see a new video around New Year's where we'll probably talk about dating apps because that's one of the biggest topics to talk about. Where we'll talk about our thoughts of it, and also even though we already talked about stuff like that, but we'll give also like maybe an example about our of our dating profiles, even though I haven't used
Perhaps, Tinder. Yeah, who knows? Rest in peace, Jack Ruby. Rest in peace. Hope you're doing all right in heaven or hell or wherever you're at. Bye, Jack.
All right, till next time. Peace. Yeah, bye. This is gonna end. In your fucking end it. End it. I'm fucking screwed. This is our first episode. Oh my god. End the fucking show. Yes, end the stream. Start end the show. Thank you guys for watching.